ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagle.
Good afternoon.
It's Thursday, man.
It is Thursday. That means tomorrow's Friday.
It does.
How about that?
And we are that much closer to a great football weekend.
I can't wait. I tell you what, some great football games. And it all starts Saturday night with the Bills and Patriots. I'm looking forward to that. And then just
so the early game Saturday doesn't mean squat to you?
Well, it does. It does. It does. You know, I want to see the quarterback play in that first game, right? I mean, Joe Burrow and David Carr. I want to see how they do. Derek Carr. Yeah, not David. He was the Houston Texans,
turnover
right?
chain. Yeah.
Well, I can understand where that happens, right? You know, we're old guys.
You know, it does happen, and we all know what you're talking about. But the great part about the playoffs is there's one game, and if it ends up being a dog of a game, you're pissed, right? But there will be a game that you're going to tell your wife, don't schedule anything for the next 3 hours. I'm not moving from the couch, or I'm pulling a seat up at the bar, and we are staying start to finish. And you look at a lot of these matchups outside of Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Is there a blowout on the schedule? And it doesn't look like it.
No, it really doesn't look like it, which means there should be a pretty good NFL weekend. Although, you know, I wouldn't even concede that the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game is going to be that way because, and you said it the other day, I mean, Pittsburgh just might ugly that game up enough where it stays close, at least for a while.
Well, it's interesting because it could, and they have that ability. Although when they did meet a couple of weeks ago, that game did get ugly. Big Ben certainly knows that it is a possibility that game gets ugly. The Kansas City Chiefs are throwing him a huge retirement party, inviting 60, 70,000 people. And Ben, he just wants to go have fun.
You know, I would assume as a group you understand that, you know, we probably aren't supposed to be here. We're probably not a very good football team. We're out of 14 teams I think are in, we're probably number 14. We're double-digit underdog in the playoffs. So let's just go play and have fun and see what happens.
And with the team with that kind of attitude, maybe that ends up being a really good football game.
Well, here's the deal, Ben. You're probably not the worst team in the playoffs. You are the worst team in the playoffs. I don't think there's any question about that. You shouldn't be there, actually, although, you know, you can make a case for a couple of other teams, especially the Los Angeles Chargers. They should be there. But, you know, we'll see what happens. You get in, you play the game. That's why they do it. Who knows what might happen? You've got, you know, injuries here or there, turnovers here and there. You just never know. And it would be an upset of dramatic, biblical proportions if Pittsburgh ends up beating Kansas City.
And I kind of root for that. Not that I want to root for Pittsburgh.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not rooting for Pittsburgh. That's against my religion. But seeing upsets in the postseason, chaos, at some point you want to root for chaos. I don't have a dog in the fight on the AFC side, so I would be all right with that. Do you want to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl for the third straight year?
Not necessarily in the Super Bowl, no, but I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes out of the playoffs in the first round either. Because that makes it exciting when you have good quality players like that. I mean, arguably, the Kansas City Chiefs have the best offense in the NFL. You could make a case for the Dallas Cowboys as well. But I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes out of the playoffs. For who? Ben Roethlisberger?
No.
I mean, are you kidding me? And I'm just saying that as a football fan. I don't care if they were to get beat. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But I mean, I don't want to see that happen.
Even friends of mine that are Steeler fans understand that this is called borrowed time. I mean, they should have pronounced the Steelers last week. The Ravens couldn't put them out of their misery. Kansas City has to because they're not a good football team. It's time for them to move on. So have a retirement party. One of the best barbecue spots in the country is called Kansas City Joe's. Go over there, get Ben some ribs and some burnt ends, and let him enjoy his flight home.
Absolutely. And that, you know, you mentioned it earlier, but that's what Kansas City on their official Twitter page put out earlier this week. They were holding an official retirement party for Ben Roethlisberger. And that begs the question, and I got to ask you because I haven't heard, has he announced that he's going to retire?
No.
But everybody assumes that he's going to retire.
No, everybody knows he's going to retire, including Ben.
I don't know that.
You know that.
I don't.
Ben knows that.
He should retire, But that doesn't mean that he will.
He is going to retire. I appreciate that Ben Roethlisberger hasn't tried to make it about him and his final game, but for their final game at Heinz Field, his family's there, the victory lap, the emotion. Ben doesn't have to sit at a podium or tweet something out saying, this is it. But everybody knows, including Ben, and the way he has talked, while not saying officially, he's cherishing all these last moments, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, he hasn't put out an official release or said it in a podium, but he's done. He knows he's done, and he's seen the tape as well. He's done.
Yeah, and, it's probably a couple of years too late, obviously. I hate to see good players stick around too long when they're not the player that they used to be. And clearly, Ben Roethlisberger has not been the player he used to be for a couple of years now. And in fact, this year, he just looked like it hurt him to even take a snap. Like the bones were cracking and creaking and doing all that stuff. But I don't know. He was a great player, but it is time to go.
And he knows that. And a lot of times players are the last to know.
Sometimes they are.
And you got to
sometimes they're Tom Brady.
Shove them out the door. Well, again,
play till you're 60.
And if Brady starts to have that dramatic drop-off like Ben, I think Brady would be one saying, I'm done.
I wonder what happens now, just hypothetically, if Tampa Bay wins another Super Bowl this year, does Brady ride off into the sunset?
No.
You don't think so?
He's got a lot left in the tank.
Man, if you're Tom Brady, wouldn't you want to be sitting on a beach or at home looking at your wife? There's a lot of other things he could be doing.
What's he making a year?
Doesn't matter. Well, she makes about 3 times that.
I'm with you, but every rich guy I know is not rich enough. They're always trying to make the next buck. So
I guess
if like with Drew Brees, the dramatic drop off, with Ben Roethlisberger, the dramatic drop off. You haven't seen that yet from Tom Brady
or Aaron Rodgers,
Aaron Rodgers for that matter, who's a youngster compared to some of those guys, and his toe's going to be good to go by the playoffs.
Yeah, but the difference between Aaron Rodgers and a Tom Brady could go work in TV if he wanted to. Rodgers, no, I don't think so.
Are you kidding?
No, Rodgers should have a podcast or a radio show or something like that. But
Aaron isn't going to end up on NBC like Drew Brees or CBS but do you think Barstool would pony up some money for him, or whoever's paying Pat McAfee $1 gazillion to put Aaron Rodgers on?
Well, he needs to be on a Sirius or something where he can have his colorful language and that's okay there. Because that's just who Aaron Rodgers is, and have his opinion. Maybe he does a political talk show. I mean, the guy he's kind of gotten political here over the last year or so. Maybe that's his future.
In between hosting Jeopardy.
He's the new Rush Limbaugh.
Which I don't know about all that, but he's certainly there. But Aaron Rodgers, it's interesting that we bring him up. He's just an everyday guy.
Everyday guy.
I mean, an everyday guy.
He's a little weird.
But just an everyday guy. He was asked with this bye week, what are you going to do with all this free time?
Rest.
All right, get some rest.
Rest.
All
right. I'm about to go home, and it's 12:22. It's pretty freaking sweet. So I'm going to enjoy this rest. I still, I'm sure many people, hopefully it's not just me. I mean, I still got semi-messy house post, Christmas and New Year's, and it's the end of the season, so you don't have time for that. So I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to rest. I'm going to read some books. And I'm going to relax. That's what I'm getting out of this week.
Do you really believe Aaron Rodgers is going to go clean his own house?
Can you imagine him pushing a vacuum cleaner around? Aaron Rodgers.
No. I mean, I'm guessing you don't push a vacuum cleaner around your house. I sure as hell don't at my house. Aaron Rodgers isn't cleaning his own house.
Well, no, but why would he say that? So maybe he's talking about there's some wrapping paper still around where he opened some presents.
Somebody else has picked that up.
You would think so, right?
If your Christmas stuff is still up, you've got a problem.
Now,
is your Christmas stuff still up at your house?
Let's move on, Jason.
Whoa, Ryan Eggle. Do you still have a tree up in your house?
No, I don't.
Are the lights still on your house?
There might be some lights in the bushes still, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, there might be. I have to check, but there might be. There could be some. But
do you still turn them on every night?
No, I don't do that.
Because they're on a timer?
Sometimes they might come on. I look, I like Christmas, okay? I'm not going to apologize
Clean
for that.
up your crap. It's the middle of the month.
I
Take
don't
it
care.
down.
I like Christmas. I could leave up Christmas lights and trees all year
Year-round?
long. Yes.
You're lazy.
No, I'm not lazy.
Then
I
take them
enjoy it.
down.
I enjoy it.
Take them down.
Everything
Christmas is over.
Everything inside the house is taken down and put away.
So Maggie's done her part. You haven't done yoors. Because like Mo, she's in charge of the inside. You're in charge of the outside.
You're assuming that. You know, Maggie might be in charge of the outside too.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. But if they're still up and she's taking down the inside, that means your job was to take down the outside. And you failed to do it. And you probably told her, honey, I'm working 2 jobs right now. I'll get to it.
What, you got a bug in my house?
I've been married a long time. I know
exactly
how those
what
go.
I told her. I said, babe, I'm tired. Man, 2 jobs. I got to go here and there and do this and that. I just don't have time to do all that stuff. But no, it's all down. But I do. I like Christmas, so I like to leave that stuff up as long as I can. So, yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers and I have a lot in common.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You know, and the podcast with McAfee every Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
You know, Aaron does do Pat McAfee show every Tuesday. But,
okay. All right.
And I don't know if he gets paid for that, but when it becomes the Aaron Rodgers show and it's, you know, either every day or, you know, on a consistent basis and somebody's paying him a whole lot of money like State Farm.
Right.
I mean, because he even got the relax in there as well. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
He's going to make a fortune with a microphone when he is done playing.
Well, he will have that opportunity. Yeah, there's no question about it. He probably do whatever he wants. And I mean, he may do a lot of continue the commercials. Can you imagine? I just, you know, I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this, and I don't know if they're a sponsor or not. Maybe they will be, but State Farm must make a lot of money.
Sure.
I mean, to pay Rodgers, you got Patrick Mahomes.
You got Jake and Drake and some of those commercials.
Yeah, so
I mean, all those people.
They must do well.
All the insurance companies seem to do well.
Yeah, they must.
I mean, we all pay premiums every month for a reason.
Now, Gronk's doing USAA.
Absolutely, and he's not even a military member.
Maybe we got in the wrong business, Jason. No,
that's well. We're in a pretty damn good business. From
I'm
that
enjoying it. Yes, yes.
For non-athletes to spend our life in sports, it's not bad.
Speak for yourself.
Like I said, for non-athletes to spend their life in sports, we're doing all right. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Coming up here on the Blitz, we've got Mickey Spagnola. He will join us at 5 o'clock to talk about the Cowboys-Niners this weekend. John McClain will join us at 5:30. Some huge news with the Houston Texans. They're looking for a new head coach. We'll talk about that with the general. It is a Thursday. What's on tap happening today? So at 5:45, if you've got any kind of event going on this weekend you want us to promote, if you're in a band and you have a gig, let us know. Tweet us at JoeKens5, at Jason Minix, or James Pledger, who's producing, who puts it together. Make sure you tweet to him at I Am Pledger. We'll also give away a $50 gift card at 6 o'clock. Grilling with the Blitz. Still got time to go to sasportstar.com, upload a photo of what's been on your grill, and you could win that $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Joe, yesterday we spent a whole lot of time talking about how the Spurs, it doesn't matter if we're got a full roster or not. The Rockets suck. They should show up at the gym and get a win.
And then they got 2 guys back, even, in Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, and still couldn't play any defense. I don't know what happened in that game, but the Rockets got off to such a hot start. They were making pretty much everything they threw up, and they scored 39 points in that first quarter, for goodness sake.
And they can't do that. And ironically, the Rockets won every quarter except the second quarter. The idea, and granted, the Spurs did score 36. I mean, that was an entertaining, high-scoring, no defense first quarter.
Right.
But the Rockets never let up. And I think it was Rob Thompson who said the Spurs have become the slump buster. And, it's interesting, Joe, because yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about this team is better than we thought they were going to be.
Right.
And then they went out and played like the team we thought they were going to be.
Well, apparently, DeJounte Murray needs some help. I mean, the guy can't do it all himself, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, 32 points, a triple-double.
12 of 26.
But he's incredible. He can't do it all himself. and he needs a little help. I know Keldon Johnson, I think, scored 18 points yesterday, but
off the bench.
Somebody's got to play some defense. And Derek White out, that hurts, certainly does. But, somebody's got to play some defense.
But again, it was the Rockets. They didn't need those guys.
They're talented, though, Jason.
Sure, they've got some talent on that team, and they're trying to figure it out. It was just one of those reminders that this is what this Spurs team is. And just as soon as you start feeling good about the San Antonio Spurs, they're going to remind you that they're not really a good basketball team. They don't have to try to tank to not make the postseason, because they weren't trying to lose that game last night.
No,
they were trying to win it.
Absolutely.
But things didn't go well for them, and they ended up losing to a bad team. They became the slump buster. Greg Popovich, after the game last night, used the word soft in his post-game press conference.
Well, they don't lack for effort. They hang in there. We're making a lot of mistakes, but every team makes mistakes. We just can't afford to make as many in our situation. So giving up 39 points in the first quarter makes it pretty difficult. And you're digging out of a hole all night. And even if you come back, we took the lead, you still got a lot taken out of you to get to that point. And it showed, especially after a long road trip. So we have to be more purposeful. We have to execute better. We have to have better decisions, but we can't start out following people around and being soft in the first quarters. And that really put us in a hole. Okay. And DJ was amazing.
Yeah, DeJounte was amazing. Glad you got that in there. Get your all-star vote in. Yeah, here's the thing. You scored 36. The Rockets' biggest lead was 12. The Spurs at one time had a 9-point lead. You didn't lose that game in the first quarter. I mean, Pop made it sound like it was 39-14, and you were excited that it got to be 128-124.
But the problem is you can't give up 39 points. You score 36, you ought to have a 10-point lead in that first quarter.
Sure, but you're down 3. It's still a game.
But Pop's deal is, and what he's trying to say is, coming back from a deficit is difficult, and it takes a lot out of you. And I don't think Pop is making any excuses, but I mean, they did come off of a 7-game road trip. They just got Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell back, and still needing some stuff there. Look, I no illusions that this team is going to go to the NBA Finals, but I still think they have talent enough to get into that playoff tournament, the play-in tournament.
The play-in tournament.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say they're going to make that, and they're going to be okay. Hopefully, now they get a couple of days off. They don't play again until Saturday. They play the Clippers, by the way, and get some rest, get some guys back. I don't know where Doug McDermott's been, and this guy must have really had COVID pretty bad. But he's another guy that they need back in there. Derek White they need back in there. So I don't know. We'll see. And the trade deadline's coming up. We haven't even talked about that a little bit, but I mean, that's something that
we will. But again, when you look at the tank discussion, or just how good is this basketball team, the Spurs at 15 wins, they're now in 12th behind Sacramento, who has 17 wins. Portland is in the 10th seed. But you know who else has 15 wins? The Pelicans. Oklahoma City has 13, and the crap Houston Rockets, who just beat the Spurs, they have 12 wins. I mean, you talk about a 5-game swing could get them into the postseason, but a 5-game swing could also get them down even with the Rockets.
It could.
I mean, that, yeah. So you look at it, I don't know if that they're trying to tank. They just are what they are. They could easily be a playoff team or the worst team in the West.
Well, I mean, let's look at it. They've lost 7 of their last 8 ball games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good. The Rockets coming into that game had lost 11 of 12. So, I mean, you're right. Look, they're not going to win an NBA championship, but I still believe with the talent they have on this team, with the way DeJounte Murray is playing, that they have enough to get into the top 10 and at least participate in that play-in tournament.
They should. But the reality, Joe, this basketball team isn't good enough to overcome losses to bad teams. There's not many teams that are worse than them. So you might steal a win and gets to good team, or what's a better team, like they did with a couple of wins in L.A., but they can't give those back with a bad loss to the Rockets. They're not talented enough. They're not good enough to lose what should be a win for this team. And they proved last night, there is no gimme win for this San Antonio Spurs team.
No, you're right. There is no gimme win. And I think if we gave them too much credit, it was that. we gave them too much credit. I mean, we were saying it here. This should, no problem. They should be able to beat the Rockets without an issue because everybody beats the Rockets. That's just the way it is. And will continue to be. I mean, that Rockets team is young, very young, in fact. They've got some talented guys, but they're not going to win many more ball games. So having said that, I don't think they're as talented as the Spurs squad is. And once they get everybody back, I think they'll right the ship.
To a degree.
Okay.
To a degree. I mean, it might be one of those things they don't have to tank. You know, it will all work itself out.
No, nobody's tanking.
I agree. Well, we'll find out. There will be a point in the season where they will say, are we going for this or are we not? Are we within
tanking.
striking distance or are we not? And again, you and I think are on the same lines, just using different words. When I listen to Halftime with Michael Jimenez, he is on Team Tank. I think the morning show with Rob and Rudy, they've termed something called soft tank. I don't even know what the hell that means.
I don't know what that means.
But
a soft tank.
Exactly. I mean, the reality is last night just showed me that they can try and still lose games to the Rockets.
Right.
And that's embarrassing. This group last night should be embarrassed by losing to that Rockets team.
I agree, and they should be. And I think Pop was on the podium. You know, Keldon Johnson came up right after him and basically said, look, we're a little tired, a little winded, but we're going to be okay. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. But I think clearly Pop was embarrassed last night.
I look, and you bring up Keldon Johnson, and I am a big Keldon Johnson fan. And I've been hard on Keldon this year because I think he's been the biggest disappointment on this roster. And I say that because I had the highest expectations for him,
right? And
he hasn't lived up to those. I'm not saying he's awful. But my expectations were him to be much further along than he is. Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News tweeted earlier today that KJ question is interesting. Not going to disagree with those who wanted to see a massive leap. However, his numbers are up across the board, and he has somehow become one of the most accurate three-point shooters in the NBA. Maybe that's all okay for a 22-year-old who was the 29th pick. And that's fair, when you look at it. But it's almost like Greg Zuerlein with the Cowboys. We pulled up his numbers the other day, and they don't seem as bad as it feels when you're watching the Cowboys. His numbers, when you just pull up a stat sheet. But when watching the games, I just expected him to be a much more dominant player than what he is.
Did you also, the most important part of that tweet was the fact that he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had 1 year of college.
I know.
He's 22 years old, Jason.
I know.
And his numbers are better. He had 18 points last night. The kid's going to be good.
He's going to be good.
He's going to be good.
But I wanted him good this year.
Well, yeah, well.
And he's better this year than he was last, I wanted him to be better.
I want to win the lottery.
You have.
It just doesn't happen.
You're working on the Blitz now.
Okay. I'll stop thinking about that now. Keldon Johnson is going to be great. Devin Vassell is going to be good. The biggest problem for the Spurs are they going to be able to keep all of those guys once they get good. Lonnie Walker has been a question. There was an article written by Jeff G in Kins 5, right? Kins5.com today.
Okay.
Right? Talking about Lonnie Walker should the Spurs have drafted him? Did they make a mistake drafting him? Maybe. And maybe he's the guy that leaves. He's going to be a restricted free agent this year, after this year. So maybe the Spurs don't keep him. Maybe somebody offers him something and, he goes away.
On Facebook Live, Gabriel says, how old is Primo, Joe?
John Primo is a baby.
He's 12.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's 19.
19. Just 19.
Right. And he's not ready for prime time. I don't care what Spurs fans say.
True.
He's not ready for prime time yet. Everybody wants Primo in. Everybody wants him to play, 30 minutes a game. He's not ready to play 30 minutes a game. And, I maybe I'm old school, but I look at what Greg Popovich has done over the years. Although I will put an asterisk by that because he saw something in Tony Parker at 19 years old, and he gave him the keys to the car, and that turned out pretty well.
Although Parker had a couple of years of pro basketball over in France, and
absolutely.
I think that's a big difference. I'm impressed, and a lot of it's because of necessity, that we've seen Primo on the varsity a lot more this year than I thought we would. And there's a reason he'll go back to the JV when some of these guys get back, because I think more minutes, whether it's G League minutes or not, is better for Josh Primo. On Twitter, Charlie Posos is he's trying to make a bet that I don't know that he's really comfortable with, but he tweets in at Jason Minix, if the Spurs don't make the play-in tournament, I'll pay your tab at the Roo Pub for the following weekend.
Wow.
That is
And wait a minute, what does he want in return?
He doesn't say anything. That's all it. I mean, he is so confident that the Spurs will make at least the play-in tournament that he'll pay my tab at the Roo Pub. You haven't seen some of my tabs at the Roo Pub.
Well, no. Now I want to know. Hold on, because who is this?
A guy named Charlie on Twitter. Charlie
is a very smart individual, obviously. And Charlie, I think you should make that bet. And Jason, you should have the guts to take it.
I'll take it because I'm going to drink for free.
But Charlie should want something in return.
I mean, but he didn't say that. He just put it out there.
All right.
Because my tab at the Roo, we have good times there.
We do, yes.
We have a lot.
We had quite a tab the other night, I think.
We did. Yeah.
And he's talking about all weekend, not just one night.
He said all the following weekend.
So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I might turn that into a 4-day weekend or maybe even a 5-day weekend. Any day that ends in Y. I'm at the Roo that often. I mean, we will see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Probably will be up there this weekend for Wild Card Weekend. A lot of big games happening this weekend. But what's the biggest game besides the Cowboys, obviously, that is appointment television for you? We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. And it's a big weekend for grilling because it's playoff time, and Tri-County Meat Market will get you ready with a lot of Wild Card Weekend specials. Think about all this right now on special. They're going to have their seasoned sirloin fajitas at $12.99 a pound. Cowboy cut choice ribeyes at $15.99 a pound. You can get those French cut choice tomahawks at $15.99 a pound. Wings at wings at $5.99 a pound, seasoned or not. Brisket, choice brisket at $5.99 a pound. Picanha and tri-tip at $10.99 a pound. English cut short ribs, which are like cross cuts, at $10.99 a pound. Get into Tri-County Meat Market because it's going to be a great weekend for grilling. And you can also get some of their grab-and-go items already ready to go from K4, including their twice-baked potatoes, the Buckaroo mac and cheese. They've got salsas, queso, chicken salad, potato salad, cream corn. They've got those firecrackers, which are incredible, and the best chocolate chip cookies. And for healthier types, Maggie May is ready to go salads, chef salad, Caesar salad, and kale salad. They got Bowman's Family Farm Milks. Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned and full service. Everything you need for Wild Card Weekend. And don't forget to stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. At Tri-County, they always offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. They have 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner. Online at tricountymeat.com. What's the wild card game you're most looking forward to besides the Cowboys? We'll talk about it after SportsCenter with Pledge.
Thanks, Jason. In the NFL, the Houston Texans have fired head coach David Culley after 1 season and offensive coordinator Tim Kelly. Culley was a first-year head coach and a first-time head coach who went 4-13, while Kelly was a holdover from the Bill O'Brien regime and had been with the Texans since 2014, spending the last 3 seasons as the offensive coordinator. Culley was signed to a 5-year deal this past offseason, but only 2 years of that contract were guaranteed, this according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Dallas Cowboys activated starting safety Jaron Kearse off the reserve COVID-19 list ahead of this weekend's wildcard game against the San Francisco 49ers as they near full health. In other Cowboy news, they re-signed VP of Player Personnel Will McClain to a new contract, this according to ESPN's Todd Archer. He was expected to be a hot commodity this interview cycle after turning down a chance to talk with the Texans last year, but McClain will reportedly be staying put in Dallas with a big contract. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs dropped their 4th straight as they fell to the Houston Rockets 128-124 as DeJounte Murray led the Spurs with a career-high 32 points, including a triple-double with 10 rebounds and 11 assists. They'll return to action tomorrow when they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
Get some green cash, money when you bring us your old or used Kubota equipment. That's dinero in your pocket. Or trade in for a brand new Kubota compact tractor, Kubota construction equipment, or whatever else you might have on your Kubota wish list. Breaking up is hard to do, but we're talking green, baby. So don't miss out on the Ewald Kubota Trade Orange for Green cash offer going on now. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save up to $1,000 on Sleep Number 360 smart beds, plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio, has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump, with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Are you thinking about selling your car? Don't get tricked with 2-minute offers only to spend 4 hours at a dealership. I want you to check out my friends at Car Zeus. It's Rudy J here. Car Zeus is not a dealership, so you don't need to worry about shady sales tactics just to lure you in the door. I'm talking about saving you time and hassle. Simply fill out a form about your car's condition at carzeus.com, and a local agent will text you an offer during business hours. No obligation. Plus, they pay the same day and even provide a courtesy Lyft ride home. That's carzeus.com.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagel.
Yeah, hey, and don't forget, you need to upload a photo of what you were grilling this week, okay? Enter a description and a recipe at sasportstar.com. You can win $50, a gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Now, we're going to choose a winner coming up at 6 o'clock, so you still have time to put a photo of what you grilled last week or what you're grilling tonight. If you're grilling something tonight, shoot a photo of it and get it over to sasportstar.com. $50 could be yours at Tri-County Meat Market.
So this weekend in the NFL, Saturday, 2 games. You got the Raiders and Bengals in the 3:30 time slot. Patriots, Bills at 7:15. Sunday, the early game is Tampa Bay, Philly, Cowboys and Niners at 3:30. The night game, Kansas City and Pittsburgh, and then the Monday game between the Rams and the Cardinals. Of the matchups this weekend, I'm not going to say Cowboys, Niners. Of the other games, what's the game where you tell your wife, we're watching this one, don't make any plans for me?
Well, for me, I like the Saturday night game between the Bills and the Patriots. Bills and Patriots. And so I think it's going to be a good football game. I don't think the weather's going to be too bad in Buffalo. It's going to be cold, obviously, but I think other than that, it's going to be fine. So I think that's going to be a good football game.
What do you consider fine?
Well, I mean, it's going to be cold, right? I mean, obviously it's Buffalo, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of blowing snow. Is there? I don't know. I'm not a weather guy.
I just looked up the 10-day forecast in Buffalo, and you're right. You know, like none degrees.
Okay,
None.
that's football weather.
Well,
Hey,
sure.
it was -8 at Lambeau last week.
True. And okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's going to be stupid cold. Last time those teams got together when it was stupid cold, the Patriots threw 3 passes in the entire game.
But that's because the wind was blowing so
True.
hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the wind's going to be blowing that hard this weekend or not.
Looking at the 10-day forecast, if you can believe this, about 10 miles an hour. So,
see, that's nothing for Buffalo.
You're right. I mean, it just looked miserable. It's going to be miserable all the way through. But for Josh Allen, he's got to go prove something.
Sure.
And I picked Buffalo in the preseason to go to the Super Bowl. So they got to get past the first round. I mean, I'm not getting off the Buffalo train anytime soon. But there is an issue with Josh Allen apparently in cold weather. And I don't know if the Bills knew that when they drafted him. I mean, because he went to school at Wyoming? It's not exactly toasty there in the wintertime. But apparently he has issues in cold weather. As he says, circulation. His toes get cold. And like all of us, once your feet are cold, you're miserable, right?
Right.
I mean, if you're somewhere cold and your feet get wet, you step in a puddle or in the snow and you're just miserable. Bart Scott this morning on Get Up has an idea that may or may not help Josh Allen in the cold.
Issue with Josh Allen over the last 15 years, he's the second worst completion percentage in the NFL in freezing temps. The guy hates the cold. He doesn't play well. And he says the reason is because he's got bad circulation. So his toes get cold. And as you know, with your feet.
Can I give you a suggestion for him? Josh Allen listening? Can people get this message to him? Viagra. Take some Viagra for the game, baby. That'll fit that circulation going right.
You know, I hear that and I think, well, the show is called Get Up. What? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? It might be harder to run around, but maybe it does help his toes.
Well, obviously it helps circulation, right? I mean, that's the whole point of it. So I think he's got a good point there.
Now, Bart Scott, former Jet, says a lot of guys in the NFL take that before games.
Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? No, I think he makes a good point because, I mean, let's face it. Who in the heck wants to play football in 0-degree weather? Right? So if you can get an edge like that, and if that actually helps because the blood's flowing and circulating and keeping you a little bit warmer, I don't know how much warmer it could keep you, but hey, why not try that?
At this point, don't you do whatever?
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, football players have been taking stuff for years, right, to help them.
Those little warmer things that can go in your shoes? Does he not do that? Do they not have heaters on the sideline? I mean, there's got to be ways to keep his feet warm.
0 degrees. I don't care if you're standing inside one of those heaters. As soon as you move away from it, you're cold again.
Fair enough, but is Viagra going to make that much of a difference?
Well, obviously it does.
When Dat Wynn worked here,
it makes a difference for a lot of guys.
But they're not trying to run around. I mean, there's.
Well, how do you know?
I mean, there's just some things there that you go, all right, that might help this, but is it creating a problem in other areas?
Well, I don't know, but if I guess everybody's going to have to watch. Is the Bills wearing white pants this week?
Well, don't they always?
I guess so.
All right, so one of the things that Dat Wynn used to say about all these tough guys that wear no sleeves in none-degree weather.
Yeah.
There's a product that they all use called Warm Skin. And it's a lotion that you put on and it warms your skin. That's how you're able to play in that kind of weather.
Interesting.
It is. In fact, First time we were going to the Army-Navy game, Dak called one of the guys that works for the Cowboys in the equipment room, and he sent some down. I've used it. It works.
Yeah, really.
I don't know where you buy it. It's not like you can get it at HEB, but it works.
They don't have that on. I bet they have it on Amazon. Amazon's got everything.
I've never looked on Amazon, but it's certainly a possibility, something to look at.
That's interesting because I always wondered what those guys were doing because it's crazy. You
They're
know,
not
0 degrees outside and they've got no sleeves, no nothing.
They want you to think they're tough.
Well, I used to. Now I'm going to reconsider.
We'll let the secret out. It's warm skin. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We'll talk Cowboys Niners coming up at 5 o'clock with Mickey Spagnola. John McClain will join us at 5:30 as the Houston Texans have fired David Culley. Speaking of fired coaches, what do you do? What do they do when they get fired? Well, if you're Joe Judge, you throw a party. We'll talk about that as we continue here on the Blitz. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747. Or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and Rudy J.
Light rail system, gleaming skyscrapers, but somehow the same morning DJs.
It's your morning sports protein shake. Tomorrow morning at 7, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Small businesses are the backbone of America. Yet when it comes to workers' comp insurance, you rarely get the savings you deserve. That's because insurance companies tend to lump you in with other businesses, and you can get overcharged. At Pi Insurance, we're on a mission to change that. With Pi, you get a quote specific to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. If you like savings, take 3 minutes to see how much you could save at trypi.com. Pi makes workers' comp insurance as easy as pie, with friendly representatives just a call away. No wonder customers rate our service excellent on Trustpilot. You work hard to build your business and keep your employees safe. You deserve more from your workers' comp provider. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Sunday, the Cowboys are digging for a win against the 49ers. Pre-game 2:30, kickoff 3:30, live from AT&T Stadium on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny, weekdays 10 a.m. to noon on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Leave it to Reinego to run a good thing. Come on, man.
Hey, it's not going to be my fault. It's going to be the Spurs.
It is the Blitz. He's Joe. I'm Jason.
That's right. So you should have told me this before I tweeted that out. You didn't tell me you were going to take me.
I don't have to invite you. You're just going to show up.
Well, I mean, you got a free tab. You bet I'm going to show up.
Dude said on Twitter, so it's like Twitter official. If the Spurs don't make the play-in tournament, he's going to pick up my tab all weekend at the Roo Pub.
Right.
And my tab could be whoever I take drinking. He didn't say he was going to buy my beers. He said my tab.
He did say that.
So, that's my drinks, Joanna's drinks, Pledger's drinks, Reinegel's drinks. If there's a free tab, Rudy J, I know will show up. I mean, it's all going to be there. And then, you want to tweet him back. What do you want in return?
Exactly. Because
why? He said nothing already. He's already said nothing on Twitter. The bet is made. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Charlie,
I mean, it's all good.
What do you want in return? Because you're going to win that bet.
Tell you what, Charlie, if Spurs make the play-in tournament, I'll give you Joe Reinegel's coffee cup. He just got a new one today. It's on his desk now.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I haven't used it yet, Charlie, so that's a good deal.
I think you got to use it for a while, man. That increases the value. A game-used coffee cup.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I probably will. Maybe even during the show. I might need some caffeine.
Who knows? So Joe Judge gets fired by the New York Giants. It took too long for the Giants to fire him. Their owner said, you know what? Every time I thought we hit rock bottom, it kept getting worse. And not like David Culley gets fired today. If you didn't know Sunday after the final game that Culley wasn't your guy, why does it take till Thursday to fire the guy? I mean, what meetings were you having to decide if he's your guy or not?
That's a good question. And this happened earlier in the week with the whole Brian Flores thing. So, and I think that's who the Texans want. I think that's who everybody wants. Yeah, that's a really good question. Maybe they were trying to figure out the financial aspects of what's going on with David Culley, because according to Tom Pelissero, he doesn't have to work and he's going to make $22 million.
Although I'm sure there's a buyout, because I had seen something else that even though he signed a 5-year contract, only 2 years were guaranteed. And maybe it was because Flores became available, they changed their mind on what direction they wanted to go. Some on Twitter are suggesting maybe this is a Hail Mary to keep Deshaun Watson in Houston. I'm going to guess that Deshaun Watson doesn't give a damn at this point. And I'm going to foreshadow at 5:30 when John McClain is on. John McClain is going to say, I'm going to guess, that Deshaun Watson will never play for the Texans again. And I agree with that. I don't know that Brian Flores, if he gets hired there, makes that much of a difference because you still got Easterby, you still got Cal McNair, you still have all the people that had the TNT around the bridge and pulled the lever and blew that thing up. So I don't know. I don't think that Deshaun is ever going to play there again, even if this is a Hail Mary to try to save him.
He's not playing in Houston. I can guarantee you that. Deshaun Watson will play somewhere else next year. It will not be in Houston for the Texans.
Regardless of who the coach is.
It does not matter.
But I do find it interesting. You know, for David Culley, it's a nice retirement parachute for him. For Joe Judge, we forget the human side when we're calling for coaches to get fired. That it's not only the head coach, but it's all the other coaches on that staff and all their families that go through it. And none of us ever think about that or care for that matter. You know, coaches and media types are the same way. Somebody in media doesn't get renewed, gets fired. It's in the news. People write nasty things online. It just comes with the territory, right? Unless you retire, then everything's roses. But Joe Judge yesterday, of all things, TMZ is hanging out in front of the Judge house and sees him with a dolly full of beer, cases and cases of beer, and then a bunch of pizzas get delivered. He threw a party yesterday for his staff, his fired staff, his currently unemployed staff. They just had a big old party. I think that's awesome to hear.
Dude, of course you're going to have a party. You know, the one thing that we may feel sorry for coaches or whatever the case may be, David Culley is going to get a payout. Joe Judge got a payout. I remember Mike Brown. You remember Mike Brown?
Yeah.
Got fired from the Lakers, and there was another team that Cleveland.
Yep.
That guy was getting paid for 5 years from both of those teams, either or, from the time he got fired. Didn't have to work another day in his life, and he was still getting millions of dollars. I want that job. Somebody fire me and pay me $22 million for the next 3 years, please.
What would you work into your contract? and that's why those guys get that kind of money. You know, when Jeff Traylor signs 10-year, $28 million deal, if things aren't going well in 3 or 4 years, you know what's going to happen? You guys are going to be calling the Blitz, telling me and Joe, Traylor's got to go, fire him, just like we did with Frank, right? I mean, you know, so they get released on to the next job with a lot of money in the bank account.
Yeah, so I don't feel sorry for these guys at all. Look, they know what the profession they're in, and the odds that they're going to be fired are pretty good. I mean, it just is a fact of the matter. So they've got the guaranteed money in there. They've got the payout in there. So these guys are good. So if you're Joe Judge, you're throwing a heck of a party. I'm surprised he just had beer. I mean, why not have, Grey Goose, for goodness sake, and Crown Royal?
Maybe they had some of that, but the TMZ guys only saw the beer. I mean, it's a good party when you're unloading the car and putting everything on a dolly to roll it into the house, and then you're getting all the pizza delivered. I mean, and it was 2 cases of Ultra, some Coors Light. What was the other one? Modelo, I think. I don't have the picture in front of me. Or Corona, and then a whole bunch of pizzas got delivered. Guy throws a party because I wonder what, like, does that suck? Do you get to go back to your office and clean it out, or do you have like security escort you out the building and they'll put everything in a box and send it to you?
The more I think about it, the more I would be really bitter if I'm one of Joe Judge's assistant coaches. That I got pizza and beer, and he's getting millions of dollars to get fired, and I'm getting pizza and beer. Because if I'm an assistant, I didn't get millions of dollars.
No, but you got dollars.
But pizza and beer. I mean, come on.
Well, he knows his staff. I mean, look at Joe Judge. I mean, what did you expect?
Pizza and beer. When I first saw that story, it didn't snap. But then all of a sudden, we get to looking at all the millions of dollars that these coaches make, and now I'm bitter.
You're bitter.
I am bitter.
You think he should have just taken everybody over to the country club?
I think he should have.
Had it catered?
I think he should have.
Little
popped
taco
the
bar.
champagne. I mean, he's got to be happy to be out of New York. It's a clown show, right? The Giants, the Jets. I mean, all of those teams are they're not good and haven't been for a while. I guess the Giants have been better since the Jets, but I mean, come on. Give these guys something. Pizza and beer. You and I could do that.
Well, sure. I thought it was nice for him. I'm not going to bitch about the food. I mean, did he call around and say, what does everybody want? You know, I mean, dude, I've been to your house where you did hot dogs on the grill. Pizza would have been an upgrade.
Well, I didn't get fired and get, millions of dollars.
No, you had a good job.
Parachute.
You know, you had it. You could have done better than hot dogs with everybody coming over for that fantasy draft.
It wasn't as good as Joe Judge's job, though, as far as salary goes. I promise you that. Pizza and beer. I come on, Joe. I'm really disappointed in Joe Judge. So I hope, he'll get hired as a coordinator somewhere. Because he shouldn't have been a head coach. The guy was in over his head.
And again, as for all you Texans fans now excited for the thought of a Brian Flores, keep in mind all the former assistants for Bill Belichick are out of work.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. None of them have a job right now. None of them. Think about that. So as you try to recreate that Patriots dynasty in Houston, keep that in mind. We'll talk with Mickey Spagnola of DallasCowboys.com when we continue here on the Blitz. Let me tell you about Hill Electric. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available for you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. Yesterday, Rob got home in the afternoon and there was some things going on at the house. He called Hill Electric. They came out this morning. It wasn't an emergency. So, they came out this morning and they fixed the problem that Rob was having. And apparently it was like a legit and something unusual. And then Rob called and said, man, you won't believe what else these guys did. They changed all the light bulbs because I guess he's got like one of those 15-foot ceilings. Some of those lights, I promise you, have been out for months, if not years, because Rob is not going to change those until they're all out and it's dark in the room. They changed all those lights. He was thrilled with everything that took place with Hill Electric. If you're having an issue at the house, whether, you've got a fuse that constantly blows, you've got a flickering light, you've got something else that just doesn't seem right, or maybe you need additional outlets or USB ports, Hill Electric will do that for you. If you're a business and you need to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distant space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. Hill Electric is a great local family-owned business. Never a service charge, always free estimates. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074. 404-9074, or go to the website hill-electric.com.
Listeners of the Paul Feinbaum Show come from all parts of the South.
I live in the mountains.
They're passionate about the SEC.
I've been drinking a little beer this afternoon, and I've got the feeling that we're going to beat Georgia by 3.
They're a rowdy bunch.
Woo! Yeah,
and they're the most honest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, I do like me. I've given up women and turned to porn.
There's nothing like the SEC. Talk SEC with Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 2 to 4, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Was the guy driving the company van next to you too busy taking the infamous car selfie for his dating app when he wrecked into you? He's still single, but now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303, 24 hours a day.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. You can always dial up the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Or on Twitter, he is at JoeKents5. Tweet at me at Jason Minix.
I'm trying to dance like Pledge. When he gets some music, I mean, he's moving in there, so I'm trying to find some of those moves.
Well, right now I want him to find Mickey Spagnola. apparently he's having trouble connecting with Mickey Spagnola. Did you call the cell or text him? Or do I need to? Just produce on the fly.
I called his cell. I'm calling his landline now just in case.
All right, cool. All right. So Mickey Spagnola will join us momentarily.
We'll talk a little Dallas Cowboys football.
John McClain in 30 minutes to talk about the firing of David Culley, who was set up to fail. I mean, he was set up to fail. I don't know if they thought they would only get 1 year out of him. Maybe they were hoping for 2, but with a guy like Flores becoming available, a guy like Mayo becoming available, maybe they decided now is the time. It'll be interesting to hear from John McClain. The Texans also fired offensive coordinator Tim Kelly, who had a lot of success with Deshaun Watson. This year, ranked 32 in the NFL in total offense.
Let me tell you something about David Culley. I think, I mean, there were some bad decisions along the way, but overall, with all the stuff that team had to go through with Deshaun Watson, that was a big shadow over the head of that team all year long. Brand new quarterback. Tyrod Taylor was there and he was hurt. He was injured. So you had to ride with the young fella who I think has got a pretty bright future in the NFL in Mills. But, Culley didn't do that bad of a job. I guess they're thinking they have an opportunity. He didn't. Look, that team, team was a disaster. It wouldn't have mattered who coached it. Bill Belichick could have come in and coached that team and wouldn't have done anything with it.
It's possible, but David Culley, you feel bad for him. He's a nice guy. He gets a nice retirement check. We'll talk more about that in about 30 minutes with John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. We'll talk about one team looking for a head coach, not going to the playoffs, to a team that has a head coach they seem happy with and going to the playoffs. Let's talk about Cowboys and Niners this weekend. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com joining us now. Mickey, one of the great things about this matchup was all the highlight shows showing the highlights from the 90s, even the 80s, this rivalry renewed.
No, absolutely. And, I think the unfortunate thing, Jason, is I don't know that anybody's got any of those highlights from the 70s when this rivalry first began in the playoffs with 3 consecutive playoff appearances against each other from 1970 to 72. But, yeah, I was laughing with Everson Walls today because the only highlight we ever see from the 81 game, the catch, is halfway through the play, the catch, right? I told Everson I wanted to see the whole play, like where you started, not just where you ended up, right? But, yeah, you're exactly right. And we were going to make a bet on the over and under how many times we see the catch in the game on Sunday when it's broadcast.
Well, Mickey, you got to look at this team. They're getting healthy. They've got guys back from COVID. It looks like everything is lining up for this to be a full-strength Dallas Cowboys team. They got to be pretty confident, I would think, going into this ball game.
No, I think you're exactly right. When they went out to practice today, everybody on the roster was eligible to practice. J-Ron Curse was the last guy off the COVID list, and I would imagine he worked probably on a limited basis. But other than that, yeah, they're full go from a COVID standpoint, from an injury standpoint, other than obviously Michael Gallup, who tore his ACL in the previous games. But yeah, and that should give them some confidence, especially on the offensive line, right? They've got this group together, the starting five. I know they listed yesterday, Tyron Smith was limited, but as Mike McCarthy said, I've got great confidence that he's good to go and there shouldn't be any problems there. So that's a benefit. And we know health means a lot. Now, we say this on Thursday with this COVID stuff. You never know what happens on Friday and Saturday.
We'll just get to Sunday at 3:30 negative is what Mike McCarthy has got to be praying for at this point. We're all year, Mickey, we've talked about the offensive line and some of the issues with the offense, kind of always coming back to the offensive line. But in that game against the Eagles last Saturday, in which Zeke did play and statistically had a solid game, but he does seem to be lacking explosion. I saw this week where he said the knee feels good. He's not getting stiffness as much as he was. But how healthy do you think Zeke is, and can he find that next gear in this postseason run?
Well, he looked pretty explosive on that 21-yard run, which was his longest run since I think the previous game against the Giants. So, I think he's good to go. I think you give him room to run, and he can run. I just don't see him laboring in practice. I don't see him laboring in the game. I think if you give him room to run, he will run the football. And I know it was a tough year on him, but there was only 6 guys this year that rushed for 1,000 yards in the NFL, and he was one of them. So I think you got to give him his due.
Mickey, when you look at the offense, and I do want to ask you this, because Zeke said earlier that he's wearing a brace and that he's gotten used to that brace and that he probably will wear it on Sunday as well. What is the issue there, and why does he need that?
Well, he's got a sprained ligament in his knee. It started off with everybody saying that he had a bone bruise and this and that. But my understanding, it's a sprained ligament. I don't know that it's anything that needs to be surgically repaired. My understanding was it was just rest, but that's what he's been playing with. And as we know, when in your knee, you need all the ligaments functioning well, right? So that's what he's been dealing with these last, I don't know, you think it's probably been about 2 months now, right?
Yeah.
It seems that way. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com joining us here on the Blitz. It's interesting when you think about this matchup, and they played everybody against the Eagles for the most part that was available. They get the win. A lot of people, including myself, thought treat it like a preseason game, get Dak a little bit of a sweat going and get him out of there. But they end up moving up to the 3 seed. And now one of the national storylines is, what a bad matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. Why is this a bad matchup for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think, San Francisco, didn't have as good a record. They're playing well now. I don't know. Is a better matchup against a team that already beat you in Arizona, or a team like the Rams that's been pretty good most of the year. They don't let you play the Texans, by the way. So chances are when you go into the playoffs, you're going to play somebody that's pretty darn good. And so, I think this game this is an evenly matched 2 teams. I think both of them have their strengths, both have kind of similar weaknesses. And again, San Francisco's been playing well. I get it. And had the Cowboys not lost to Arizona, it kind of takes the shine off of what they did down the stretch in this season. And I understand the Eagles didn't put their guys out there, but the Cowboys did what they should have done to that team, right? They should have put a 100 on them. You don't want to play your guys? Okay, we're playing ours for 3 quarters, the guys that were healthy enough to play, and we're going to pound the daylights out of you. And they did. So I think you got to give them credit for that. I kind of like what Jerry Jones had to say this week. He said that game was about us. It wasn't about anybody else. It was about us, our offense, our defense, our offensive line, our skilled players. And they played the way they should have. So I think they go into this game with a lot of confidence and a lot of health.
Okay, Mickey, I got to ask you, because another story that's been floating around nationally is the fans, right? I know the Rams said they were surprised that there were so many 49er fans in the seats. And in fact, they thought it was a road game at time. They had, were trying to quiet the crowd. And I guess it's been there before, because I saw a story from WFAA there in Dallas that back in 2014, there were a lot of red jerseys inside that stadium. Is Jerry worried about that? Are the Cowboys worried about a lot of Niner fans inside AT&T Stadium?
Well, you know what? There's nothing they can do about it. So you better not, right? So you better not consume yourself with worrying about something you can't control. You sell your tickets, and if people want to make more money, I guess they have that right. Would you rather not happen? Yeah, absolutely. And the last time San Francisco was here, there was a lot of San Francisco fans. But I think what everybody has to remember, and this has happened throughout the state of Texas, right? People were bailing out of California left and right because they could sell their houses for millions and move here with those millions in dollars and pay, buy these twice a big house in the state of Texas and not have to pay state income tax. So there's a lot of people from California that were probably 49er fans living here now. And, they were working hard to get tickets. If the Cowboy season ticket holders want to make money, this was a time to make money. So, I don't think you can do anything about it. But you better just worry about what you can worry about. And if it happens, it happens. We saw it happen in L.A. But again, remember, San Francisco's not that far from L.A. L.A. is a melting pot of different people from different areas. And so, I could see that happening. But if the Ram fan wanted to sell their tickets and make money, so be it.
Kind of what it boils down to, although the Arizona game was the one game in quite some time, regular season game, where you just felt like it was dominant Cowboy fans, because every fan base says, oh, we took over Jerry World. Well, that seems to happen on a weekly basis. It was so loud for the Arizona game. There was just a little bit of Cardinal red throughout there, and the Cowboy players just did not feed off of that energy. Being in that stadium, I felt it was loud, playoff loud. I was kind of disappointed with the energy. What does Mike McCarthy do to have more energy, bring the juice with his guys?
Make plays. Because if you make plays, then you bring energy in the Cowboy fan, right? So they didn't make enough plays, not enough on offense, and certainly not enough on defense. And when you're struggling along the way they did in that game, you will drain the energy out of the people in that stadium. But the other thing is when you have a stadium that big, there's a lot of room for a lot of people to be there, right? And there's probably a lot of tickets available. The Cowboys don't sell 93,000 season tickets, right? There's tickets to be had. And if you're willing to pay the price, then you got the right to go in there. But again, those are things that, it's good for us to talk about. It's a great talking point. But from a team, you just can't worry about that. You just got to adapt. Although the last thing you would want to do is have to go to a silent count at home, right?
The Rams had to do that last week. That's the problem.
Yes, I know. I saw that. Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you this, Mickey, because we've been talking about this too. Obviously, the Cowboys 49ers game is the marquee matchup this weekend. I don't think anybody questions that, with all the history and just the way it is. What other game this weekend are you looking forward to watching?
Oh, boy. Well, the nerd I am, all of them, right? That's not the answer that's not the answer you're looking for. Let's see. How about what do we got? I'm trying to remember all the games.
Bills,
I'm
New England.
interested in the Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
If the Bengals are for real, they've been kind of teasing us, and I'm interested to see what takes place in that game. I think that if I remember correctly, that's the Raiders. The Raiders in
Raiders
Cincinnati?
Bengals. Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, and which was kind of funny, right? Because had the Raiders settled for the tie, they had to go to Kansas City. If they won, they got to play Cincinnati, right? So they had some incentive to kick that field goal, even though I don't think they wanted to, until the Chargers decided, yeah, we're going to call a timeout here.
That's exactly what happened. Hey, Mickey, before we let you go, lots of rumors out there about Dan Quinn interviewing for head coaching jobs. Kellen Moore's name is mentioned, although as a Cowboy fan, I am worried that Dan Quinn will end up with a head coaching job. But I thought the Cowboys, and I find the timing interesting, thought it was interesting and important today. They're keeping Will McClain, signing him to a new contract. And while he doesn't have the GM title, it's vice president of player personnel. He's the de facto general manager of this Cowboys team. The fact that they are keeping him in the building, I think, is huge for the organization.
No, I think it's if there's another word for more than huge, I think you're exactly right. He's meant so much to them. He's so well liked. The coaches, Mike McCarthy loves working with Will McClain. You can talk to the players. They know how involved he is. I think Jordan Lewis pointed it out the other day that he says, I see Will out at practice every day. He's in there with us. So yeah, and he's done such a good job, you guys. And everybody points out the Cowboys draft and this player and that player in free agency. But I think the thing he's done so well is he's meshed the scouting department with the coaching staff, with the scouting department, the front office, the coaching staff. He's one of these guys that can talk football because he was a former player, right? Played at Rice. He was a former coach in the Arena League. He was a defensive coordinator. He played in the Arena League. He was the head coach of the Dallas Desperados. So he understands the coaching side of it, but he understands the scouting side of it too. And I think if you can get those two groups to mesh when you're going into the draft, when you're going into personnel decisions, you've done a heck of a job. And those are the things I think that they really value, his ability, his people person ability to get guys to not only listen to him, but him listen to other people and neither side being offended. So, yeah, good that they were able to keep him on board. And then we'll see what happens with the coordinators. Gosh, there's so many jobs now. What, another one today? So are we up to 8?
Yeah, we're up to 8. Yeah. 25% of the league is available.
So, yeah, and there's so many people. They're interviewing so many different people. My thought is on Dan Quinn, if somebody brings him in a room to interview him, he's gone because he will impress you with his ability to talk.
And your thoughts on Kellen Moore being a head coach?
And I think that's going to come down to what teams are looking for because these days, right, everybody's looking for the next young offensive coordinator to be the head coach, the next young mind. And at some point, he will be a head coach. It's in his genes, right? Not only was his father a head football coach, his grandfather was a decorated basketball coach in the suburbs of Chicago. So, he was born to be a coach, and he will be a head coach at some point. And with all these opportunities out there, I think they like young offensive minds these days as head coaches.
They certainly do. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. Always appreciate the knowledge, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
It'll be good to speak with you guys in one way or another. We'll have something to talk about.
Yes,
right?
we will.
Yeah, round 2. Positive thoughts. Mickey Spagnola. Read him at DallasCowboys.com. You can watch him to him, listen to him on all their platforms. He's the man when it comes to working inside of that building. And it's interesting when, Dan Quinn, he interviews, he's going to get that job. Kellen Moore, he's not ready.
He's not ready.
But are we seeing ownership groups take chances on guys that might not be ready, Joe? And I say that we're all tired of the retread guy, right?
Sure.
Why is this guy getting another chance? Why? And Dan Quinn does fall into the retread category.
He does.
Head coach, fired, 1 year as a coordinator, and he's back in the rotation right away. But we all want to see fresh blood, new ideas. But everybody's hammering Staley with the Chargers because of some dumb decision making, because damn it, analytics are great, but at some point, coach, use your gut. You can't go for it on 4th down from your own 18 in a playoff game. Yeah, idiot. You're too young. You're not ready for this.
But some guys are ready, right? Sean McVay with the Rams. Cliff Kingsbury has done a good job with the Arizona Cardinals. So, it just depends. But just looking at Kellen Moore, I don't know. He just doesn't strike me as a head guy.
Does Staley, though?
Well, no, he doesn't either. And, but neither does Sean McVay. I mean, you look at Sean McVay, if you saw him in a restaurant, you'd say, son, are your parents here? Right? I mean, so
I get you there, but Sean at least feels like he can command a room. Now, I know Kellen was a quarterback. A quarterback's got to be able to command a room. And he had a longer NFL career than I think many people thought. But at the same time, when I'm watching Kellen, when I see Kellen, some guys look like they're number ones. And other guys are great at number twos. I think Wade Phillips falls into that category. Wade Phillips was a brilliant defensive coordinator. He was a mediocre head coach, and he had plenty of opportunities sitting in the big chair. But he was a great coordinator. And sometimes it's okay to just be a great coordinator.
Dan Quinn may be that guy. We don't know yet, but he may be. He's one hell of a defensive coordinator. We know that. He's done a great job. But is he a head coach?
He did take a team to a Super Bowl.
He did.
And the issues in Atlanta, were they all his fault, or the GM deciding who's going to be his players? And I mean, seeing Will McClain, he's been with the organization for a long time. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily know Will McClain because Jerry is the general manager, and he's quick to always tell you he's the general manager. But Will McClain does the GMing job without the title.
Sure.
And clearly he doesn't have the ego. Otherwise, he would have gone to other organizations and taken on the official title of GM and the notoriety that comes with that.
That's why they re-signed him today, Jason.
To make sure that doesn't happen. And I think Will is good with that. Do the Cowboys value Dan Quinn enough after 1 year and the incredible defensive turnaround to sign him to some ridiculous contract like they did Jason Garrett when he was the coach in waiting? He was making more than Wade as the head coach as the OC.
That's right.
Do they do something like that with Dan Quinn?
Yeah, if they think they're going to lose him, they just might do it. I mean, Jerry is not afraid to shell out some cash. We all know that.
And the best part of it, Mike Riley with the Commanders, who's now going to the New Jersey Generals of the USFL. He told me, the reason why all of us want to be head coaches, you get to make your own schedule. If you want to practice early so you can have dinner with the family or go get a beer, you can do that. The head coach decides. If the head coach is an early morning, stay late guy, guess what? The staff is early morning, stay late. And so the best part about being a head coach over being a coordinator is you get to make the schedule.
Well, and the best part about being a head coach, apparently, is you can be a cheapskate like Joe Judge and have pizza and beer for your staff.
Well, that's when you get fired. I mean, he doesn't have a job, and you want more than pizza and beer. David Coley, what does he do for his staff? Because he's unemployed now. Fired today by the Houston Texans. We'll talk about it with John McClain as we continue here on the Blitz. It's going to be a great football weekend. Wild card games on Saturday, wild card games on Sunday. We even got one on Monday. And no game day is complete without great kielbasa sausage. If you're going to fire up that grill while you're watching football, you need to get into the grocery store and get yourself some kielbasa smoked meats. Right off the grill, put it in a flour tortilla. You're perfect with those sausage wraps. And one of the great things about Kielbasa, a great local San Antonio company, they designed the length of their sausage to fit perfectly in a tortilla. So when you're getting to the store to get yourself ready for Wild Card Weekend, make sure you get yourself some cold beverages. Make sure you get yourself the tortillas, and make sure you get yourself some kielbasa sausage. Available in stores everywhere. Get some kielbasa today. The General, John McClain, joins us next after Sports Center from James Pledger.
Thanks a lot, Jason. We'll talk about the firing of head coach David Culley, as he is a one-and-done as a head coach in Houston. And with him went offensive coordinator Tim Kelly. Culley went 4-13 in his first season, while Kelly was a holdover from the Bill O'Brien regime and had been with the Texans since 2014, spending the last 3 as the offensive coordinator. We'll ask John McClain about it coming up next right here on the Blitz. The Dallas Cowboys activated starting safety Jaron Kearse off the reserve COVID-19 list ahead of this weekend's wildcard game against the San Francisco 49ers. And the Cowboys also re-signed VP of Player Personnel Will McClain to a new contract. This, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs lost their 4 straight, falling to the Houston Rockets 128-124, despite a career-high 32 points, adding a triple-double with 10 rebounds and 11 assists in the loss. They'll return to action tomorrow when they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. In college hoops tonight, the 19th-ranked Texas Tech Bears are back in action and riding a 2-game win streak after being 6th-ranked Kansas and top-ranked and previously unbeaten Baylor in their last few games. Tonight, the 12-3 Red Bears welcome Oklahoma State into Lubbock for a 6 o'clock tip. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmett's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today, 571-0318.
Jason Minix here for Garageization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Deep breaths. Mai's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
This is Jerry Jones, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Just like I go back to the 2-minute situation when we were in it, I immediately went online with Nick and obviously him and Romeo talked about it and says, okay, our timeouts now. How do we need to use these timeouts? And then immediately, okay, at this, depending on what happened on this play, we need to call it. This doesn't happen, you don't call a timeout. So all those things are discussed before we ever get to that point. Like we're usually a play ahead of that. And then when it happens, then I've got to be ready to make that decision.
David Coley, with his general manager in his ear throughout the game. Well, he doesn't have that anymore. David Coley fired today by the Houston Texans. We'll talk about it here on the Blitz. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix, the General. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us now. And, John, a lot of people have said, why'd they wait till Thursday? Will you, when next time you see him, thank Nick Caserio? Because they know you're coming on the Blitz today, so they waited till Thursday to fire him early in the day, so we've got plenty of talk about in the afternoon here on the Blitz.
I've already thanked him for doing that. And he said, you know what, that's the reason I did it. I wanted you to have something to talk to Jason about.
It's perfect. I mean, it just seems like it goes with the territory when it goes with the Texans. I don't think anybody is surprised that David Coley is let go after 1 year, although I think a lot of people are surprised that they let him go after 1 year, if that makes sense.
Well, nobody here was surprised, and here a lot of people thought he should be fired. I think it's grossly unfair to give him the talent they did, knowing that he had to play Davis Mills 2 months before he wanted to. They had at one point 23 players on the COVID list. They had a lot of injuries. They had 12 starting offensive linemen. They had the worst running game in history. That's not his fault. That's Nick Caserio's fault. So they gave him a lot of chicken, you know what, and tried to make spit out of it. And you couldn't do it. No coach could. That's why I thought he deserved a second year to prove himself. And I'm glad at least nationally they're getting roasted, because this will be in a 15-month span. Their new coach will be their fourth in 15 months from Bill O'Brien to Romeo Crennel as the interim, Cully, and now the next coach, who will obviously come from New England. I believe this has been the plan for a year. If they knew Cully was going to be a one and done, nobody in their right mind would have come in here knowing how bad this team was supposed to be. Everybody was projecting them to be the worst team in the league and get the first pick, and they won 4 games in which they were underdogs by 6, 5, 12, and 14 points. And so I just thought I think it's unfair. I thought he deserved the second season.
John, Jason and I were having that discussion a little bit earlier that I thought Cully actually, with what he had to work with, did a pretty decent job. I mean, there were some mistakes that he made, and it seemed like at times he did make some bad decisions and some bad calls, but the reason they fire him, there's got to be a reason. There has to be somebody that now they're going to go after, or they've had in their sights. Is that the case?
Oh, I think they've had somebody in their sights for years. It's going to be a former Patriot coach. No head coach in his right mind who doesn't know Nick Caserio and Jack Easterby, the executive VP of football ops from the Patriots. They're not going to put up with the interference that Easterby has in every part of the personnel side of the organization. And Caserio, who runs around like a coach in practice and then puts a headphone on game days and is on the headphones with the coach and offensive coordinator. He started that at New England, and he continued it here. And the head coach doesn't know him, going to say, what the hell? I'm not going to have you up there doing that. So that's why they got to get somebody they're familiar with, like, say, Gerard Mayo, inside linebackers coach from the Patriots, who I know Easterby loves, or Brian Flores, fired by the Dolphins, Josh McDaniels, whose brother's on the staff, who went to college with Caserio. And people say, well, why didn't they just hire one of these guys before? Well, those guys aren't stupid. They knew how bad it was going to be here with a total roster rebuild, and they didn't want to have that on their resume. So let's bring in somebody who's been an assistant for 27 years, has never been a coordinator, who will come in here with a positive attitude, keep everybody's spirits up while we lose. And the players played hard for Cully. In that last game against the Titans on Sunday, they're down 21-0 at the half. Then they came back in the second half and almost beat the Titans and lost by 3. And so nobody could dispute that. And I think it's just a plan orchestrated by Caserio and Easterby to bring in somebody from New England that didn't want to come here for this season.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us here on the Blitz. Now, John, the fact that it took till Thursday to officially announce that David Culley wasn't coming back for a second season does coincide with Brian Flores surprisingly getting fired down in Miami. So that connection is obviously there. Now, I know I'm adding some kerosene to this fire, John, because I listen to you week in and week out. Every time I've asked this question, you've been consistent with the answer. Is the firing of Coley targeting a guy like Flores let me finish, John. Let me get the kerosene out of the will
something so stupid.
So this
something so preposterous.
So not a Hail Mary to try to keep Deshaun Watson?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer.
Thank you, John.
Only nincompoops would think of something like that. Watson hates this organization. They want to trade him so bad. You realize everything he's done to this organization by, number one, demanding to be traded. Number two, by getting the 22 civil suits. I'll guarantee you, James McNair, the owner of this franchise, who's in her 80s and read those lawsuits. That's not going to happen. I've been telling people a year he'd not take another snap. And I see these nitwits out there in the media saying, oh, Flores, he'll come back. And I'm like, he will never take another snap here.
Well, we have to be we have to be gentle with Jason.
I'm sorry, Jason, if you were one of those nitwits.
No, John, no. In fact, if you pull audio from earlier in the show when you're talking about this, I said I know John well enough. I'll ask him because I feel like I have to, but there's no way in hell Deshaun Watson ever plays again for the Houston Texans. And John will say the same thing when he's on at 5:30, and you did.
Absolutely. So Watson, he's still got the 22 civil suits. He's still got all these investigations. A lot of people in the league think if he would reach settlements that the investigations would go away. And Roger Goodell says, well, you missed last season, so go ahead. Maybe he slaps him on the wrist with a 2-game suspension. They need him to settle those suits by April 28th, the first day of the draft. And if he does, there's going to be a lot of teams that want him. And I think the reason he wanted to go to Miami wasn't because of Brian Flores. It's because of South Florida, where he spends a lot of time. And players with millions and millions of dollars love to live there. And plus, they kind of get lost, where here he can go anywhere in public. He's in Switzerland right now with his girlfriend, taking a neutral side to everything, but he's never coming back here. and playing for the Texans. I can guarantee you.
Well, John, they're going to work this out. I mean, I would just think that there's got to be enough money that they'll settle this thing and it will get done. And then they have to decide what Roger Goodell's going to do. But what about the Texans? I mean, what do they expect to get? Can they get anything for this guy at this point in time?
They were getting 3 1s, a 3 and a 5 before the trading deadline last year from Miami. Nick Caserio had been asking for 3 1s and 2 2s. And considering all the teams are going to need quarterbacks, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to have a draft haul over a 3-year period for Watson. Watson's better than anybody in the draft. He's better than about 5 quarterbacks in the league. Plus, he's under contract for years, and he's 27 years old.
At this point, do you have an idea of where you think are 2 or 3 teams that make the most sense for Deshaun?
The teams that wanted him the most were Miami, Carolina, Denver, and Philadelphia. He invoked his no-trade clause, said he wasn't going to Philadelphia. Now, there's going to be other teams that need a quarterback, like the Giants, Washington, and Denver. They think in Carolina, especially Denver, they're a quarterback away. And the key is, would he waive the no-trade clause? What if the Dolphins say we're not interested anymore? That's not going to happen because Tua Tagovailoa didn't do squat. And he can't stay healthy anyway. But Carolina, Charlotte is 190 miles from his hometown of Gainesville, Georgia, where his family is. It's close to Atlanta, where his good friend and quarterback guru Quincy Avery is. So would he indeed agree to go to Carolina if they could work out a deal? That's the key. He's got to get the lawsuits settled, and then he's got to sign off or give the Texans a couple of teams where he would go besides the Dolphins. Problem with Dolphins, they don't have their number 1 pick. They have San Francisco's number 1 pick, and if the 49ers fool around and upset the Cowboys, that number 1 pick's already going to be lower. And the team I'd like to see him trade to would be the Giants. They have the 5th and 7th picks in the first round. They could take, say, the 5th pick, and then their 2nd and 3rd, and then get the other ones the next 2 years, and the Giants would still have their 7th pick in the first round, plus they have 10 overall. But I don't know if he'd sign off on going to New York, or even if the Giants would do it. But you got a new coach and a GM and an apathetic fan base, that would certainly create a lot of controversy and generate a lot of interest.
It certainly would. It's going to be an interesting thing to follow over the weeks to come. Make sure you're following John on Twitter. He's just as entertaining on Twitter. I think he quit Twitter about 9 times in the second half Sunday between the Texans and Titans at McClain_on_NFL. John, always appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it as always, too.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle.
Boy, and he speaks the truth, doesn't he? Oh, my goodness. You got to love that guy. He is, I love having a guy on that's going to tell you the way it is. And he certainly told you the way it is. And I've been trying to tell people that for 2 weeks. So thank you, John McClain.
Well,
That's
what
great.
does that mean? what does that mean? We agreed. I was just setting it up to make his head explode, and it did.
So that's kind of like asking Greg Popovich a question like that, right? Just get your head bit off.
I just know, like so many people on Texans Twitter is, well, if we get Brian Flores, could we save Deshaun Watson? Hell no. It ain't going to happen.
It's not happening.
It goes deeper than that.
Yes.
And I knew John would say that.
I love the way he put it. It was great.
He almost didn't even let me get the question. He knew where I was going.
He knew exactly where you were going with that before you could even mention Deshaun Watson. So, and that was great. No, he's fantastic, and love having him on.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up, What's on Tap, brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. If you've got an event this weekend, a gig you want us to promote it, tweet it to us. Now's the time at JoeKens5. Tweet at me at JSeminix or Pledge. He's on Twitter at IamPledger. If you need your logo on any gear, if you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, maybe you're just planning a big event, get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro, especially if you need winter gear. Rodeo's around the corner. Maybe you got a group heading out there and you need something with your logo on it. Sammy has your jackets, your coats, your hoodies, your half zips, beanies, and he has all the big name brands: North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Port Authority, to name a few. And he's got plenty of inventory in stock. Not many can say that, but Sammy can, and he does, along with polos, T-shirts, and hats. He's got the largest selection of caps in stock, including the popular Richardson style cap. And it's not just embroidery. He could do silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. Call Sammy's Embroidery Club at 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or go to the website, samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
If you're currently listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM, on February 1st, you'll need to retune your radio to 1250 AM and 103.3 FM. Same great programming, stronger signal, we think. Probably not.
Hello, I'm Dr. Torres, founder of the Institute for Functional Health here in the heart of San Antonio. Has the healthcare model of the past century let you down? This story sounds all too familiar. You see doctor after doctor. Each one runs a few labs, prescribes a new medication, and invites you back in a few months for prescription refills, likely without a game plan. You're stuck in this endless cycle, while quite frankly, you don't feel much better than you did when you first started. Sure, your labs may improve. Your doctor may say everything looks normal, but you know better. You don't feel any better. This is exactly why I invite you to visit us here at the Institute for Functional Health, where we have reinvented patient care and are proud to invite you to the future of integrated modern medicine. We offer primary care for when you're sick or need prescription refills. But more importantly, our entire team focuses on finding the root cause of your symptoms and getting you off of your medications. So if you are tired of masking symptoms and are ready to get to the root cause of your problems, call us for a free consultation. 468-1891. 468-1891.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock Ontario.
The crazy world of SEC football.
I'm East Coast, baby. All you weak back Southern boys don't know nothing about East Coast.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, tomorrow afternoon at 2, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, Alexa, what's for lunch? San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel.
Hey, and in case you forgot, Jason, because you might have, the Cowboys are in the playoffs this week.
What?
Yeah, they're playing Sunday, actually, against the San Francisco 49ers at AT&T Stadium, and you can catch all the action right here. We're going to start things off with a pregame show at 2:30, and then kickoff from Jerry World set at 3:30. So keep it right here. Your home for Dallas Cowboys football is San Antonio Sports Star, and it's all brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and powered by Ewald Kubota.
Cowboys Niners on Sunday. And I believe Mike Jimenez is going to be out at Twin Peaks on 151 for that one. So that'd be a good time. And if Jimenez is there, Pledge will be right there with them.
Of course, Pledge is going to be there.
They're kind of joined at the hip. That's something you could do this weekend. Other things you can do this weekend. That's why we put together What's on Tap.
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint.
What's on Tap brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. All the information's on their website as well, samsburgerjoint.com. They've got some live music today with a lot of initials, JD, SEMO, and GA20. I have no idea.
No clue.
The Iron Maidens are going to be out there on Friday night.
Is that a cover band, you think?
Obviously.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
It's not the Iron Maiden.
No, it's the Maidens. It's Matt Kirk and the... I don't know. Who's with them?
Wayfarers.
Is that Wayfarers?
Well, it's got the little accents over the U.
Not on my page, it doesn't.
Well, I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a German computer.
Yeah. Matt Kirk and his boys, man, they're going to be out there on Saturday night. Again, samsburgerjoint.com for a full list of their schedule for upcoming shows as well as their menu. Go down there, get a burger, some of those great tater tots, and enjoy some live music.
Absolutely. And if you're not going to Sam's Burger Joint tonight, you might want to go to Green Hall. The Austin Gillum Band is playing out at Green Hall tonight. Our Picks Bar, it's live band karaoke.
Here we go.
Something we've got to do, Jason.
No.
We've got to do that, right? How about some comedy? San Antonio Homegrown out at the LOL Comedy Club. So that ought to be a good time as well.
You want to know something funny?
What's that?
Speaking of comedy shows, the funniest thing I've heard come out of Carl Schoning's mouth was today during halftime when he said his kind of dream is to be a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
There are people you meet that you go, man, you should do stand-up. And then you got Carl Schoening. I would never have put those two together.
Never would have put that together. But, you know, his father, Bill, is a pretty good singer and guitar player.
He is.
There's a lot of talent in that family.
And Bill says he's got a million seller. He's got 1 million copies of his CD in his cellar. Speaking of comedy, Friday night out at LOL Comedy Club, Michael Blackson is going to be out there. Jamestown Revival Friday night out at Green Hall. It says sold out, but you know nothing's ever completely sold out. Spurs and Cavs Friday night at the AT&T Center. Picks Bar on Friday night, Passing Strangers, one of the better local bands in San Antonio. In my top 5 of local bands, something called Colby Cooper is out at Floor's Country Store on Friday.
Always a good time at Floor's Country Store. Then Saturday night, if you don't feel like watching football, you can get out to Green Hall. That's David Shear Band and Jake Penrod. They'll be out at Green Hall. It's just fun to go to.
Oh, Penrod's out there?
Penrod. Howdy, Jake. I'm sure he's very good. Picks Bar
and Saturday night at Green.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be good, although it's the David Shear Band and Jake Penrod.
I mean,
is he opening? Is he in the front room? Is he outside in the beer garden? I don't know. Go get your Penrods.
Yeah. Maybe they have souvenirs.
They all sell T-shirts.
Yeah. Picks Bar on Saturday night. Chandler and the Bings. All right. AT&T Center. Spurs with a back-to-back. Spurs and Clippers on Saturday night. How about Floor's Country Store? You got Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Dude,
now that's good.
At Floor's?
At Floor's.
Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Yes, you got to get out there. And it doesn't say sold out, so you still have tickets available. Alamo Dome, you get the Monster Jam. We've been giving away tickets for that thing. And then the LOL Comedy Club, Michael Blackson. So he's doing a couple of nights.
Absolutely. On Sunday, we all know it's Cowboys football, right? Go hang out with Jimenez at Twin Peaks. Monster Jam is going on in the Alamo Dome. Green Hall has Andrea McGee Band and Matt Kirk in the Wayfarers again. Now, Pledge, when you put this together, the first time I had to say Wayfarers, you didn't spell it out. The second time, you gave me a pronunciation guide.
You're welcome.
I would have said Gooey Fairs, right? Hey, Gooey.
Yeah, them Gooey Fairs, man. Yeah, you never know. What's going on at the Aztec Pledge on Sunday? You don't know?
I think I know exactly what
Well,
you're talking about.
you put it on there just to try to trip us up with some words that don't make sense.
Well, I mean, they don't make sense to you, but if I'm looking at the Aztec, Jack Films presents Yee Live.
Yee.
You get Yee out of that.
Yeah, I got Yee.
Woo! All right. Joshua Radden's at the Tobin Center on Sunday.
How do you miss the Aztec Theater? I mean, you got to go there, don't you?
Aztec has some interesting shows. There's live music on Monday as well out of Greenwood, Brett Graham.
There is. Pix Bar's got Willie Robles.
Or Wally.
Or Wally, too.
Willie's his brother. Maybe they're both playing. You never know. Spurs and Suns. Spurs on this home stretch coming up. Go see them. Spurs and Suns playing on Monday night. See at the Tobin Center on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. This is all James Pledger, man. You want to go nerd out with Pledge? Mystery Science Theater 3000 Live, the Time Bubble Tour.
Nice.
Is it?
I don't know.
You never watched Mystery Science 3000 as a kid?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
I missed that
You
one.
realize when Ryan Engel was a kid, they only had 3 channels and it was black and white. I mean, let's be honest.
The Twilight Zone, baby. And Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I used to watch that. Hey, Wednesday, we got the LOL Comedy Club, the Revolver Comedy with Raul Sanchez. Spurs back in action again. They'll take on the Thunder. Another game they should win, right? Against the
Slotbuster.
Yeah. And then, hey, Tobin Center has Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is that how you say that?
I think it's just Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse. It's not DeGrasse.
I would have said Neil deGrasse.
DeGrasse.
Or I'd have said Neil Tyson.
Hey, we need a pronouncer there, Pledge.
Dude, we're lucky it's halfway spelled right. I mean, let's be honest. We're in radio. We don't put these out where people could actually see some of the writing. Get careful reading some of those reads that you get, because Pledge writes those, and good Lord, who knows?
Oh, well, I'm still ready for the pin rods. That's the ticket to buy.
Coming up, we need your participation on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. What are your Dallas Cowboys superstitions? You know you have some.
Or any superstition for that matter, getting ready for a sporting event.
Okay, so if you're not a Cowboy fan, let's say you're a fan of the Titans. What are your superstitions? We're going to get into that as we continue. You need to participate. Pick up that phone right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
We promise to never waste your time on nonsense. Know who's stealing the snacks in your break room, blah, blah, blah. We talk about the NBA and a lot of it.
That's today's NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, you look around the league and you almost need an updated roster.
Get the latest from around the league from the experts and analysts who know.
Let them play ball. They're going to be fine. Let's go.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors, with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company. that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Get some green cash, money, money, money when you bring us your old or used Kubota equipment. That's dinero in your pocket. Or trade in for a brand new Kubota compact tractor, Kubota construction equipment, or whatever else you might have on your Kubota wish list. Breaking up is hard to do, but we're talking green, baby. So don't miss out on the Ewald Kubota Trade Orange for Green cash offer going on now. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagle.
Good to be here.
Got an hour to go. Then you're off to work.
Yeah, this is just like the pregame, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, that's kind of, 10 o'clock news.
Or
coming up.
this is the first half. Then I got to find something to eat at halftime.
Here we go.
And then go to work for the second half.
What did you end up eating last night? It's become a daily thing.
Yeah, what did I have last night? Actually, had chicken strips from KFC.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Glad you're eating healthy.
They were good.
Well,
I hadn't KFC in a while, and
Sure.
they were pretty good. Yeah.
Interesting.
That used to be called Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It still is.
It is?
Some people call it that.
Never.
It's called KFC.
I hear KFC.
And now people are going to hammer you, kind of like your taco choices. There's better chicken strips out there.
It was there, and it makes sense because there was nobody in the drive-thru.
Sometimes that wins.
It does.
It's the only time I'm ever at Arby's is because the Whataburger line is too long. At my old house, there was a Whataburger right across the street from an Arby's.
Yeah.
I never craved Arby's.
No.
But if I was pulling in and I saw the Whataburger line long, the beef and cheddar it was.
Arby's solid.
Like their curly fries.
It's okay.
And their curly fries you can buy at H-E-B, throw in the air fryer. They're fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can do that. Get yourself an air fryer. Speaking of food.
Don't put a crispy dog in there, though.
No, don't do that. Although we did that the other day. We'll talk about it because it is time for grilling with the Blitz. Maybe.
Grilling with the Blitz is brought to you by Tri-County Meat Market.
At some point we're going to get music under that. I thought you overly produced that at some point.
No, but I can.
We talk about it every week. It is time for Grilling with the Blitz, brought to you by Tri-County Meat Market. We all grill, especially this weekend. This is a big weekend for grilling because it's playoff football time. You can't just roll out and do the normal wings for this one. You got, I'm thinking maybe Saturday, because now that I have to come to the studio every week, I'm down to firing up that grill on the weekends only. And since I'm going to the game, I've got one day this week.
What's it going to be?
I think beef ribs.
Beef ribs. Didn't you have that last week?
No, I had pork ribs. Had some St. Louis style pork ribs last week.
That's always good.
Might go with some beef ribs because they take about 8 hours.
Right.
I might do something
on the Traeger.
Yeah. I'm slaving away all day.
I know you will.
It doesn't interrupt the game.
Sitting in your lazy boy with the remote control.
So today's winner, a pork roast bone. Thomas submitted the photo at sasportstar.com. It's got some chupacabra seasoning on there. He also has some, as he writes in there, some jalapeno sausages on there as well. But that pork roast bone looks fantastic. It does. So congratulations, Thomas. You get yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
What is chupacabra seasoning?
I've not.
You don't know.
I know what chupacabra seasoning is. I've seen it. I've not purchased it. But at a variety of the stores, including Tri-County and over at Barbecue Outfitters, they're on 1604. I've seen the chupacabra seasoning on there. Now, I haven't tried it because I think it's probably spicy, and I don't do a lot of spice.
Well, I do spicy. So if somebody knows what chupacabra seasoning is, please let me know because I need to know. I mean, I'm fascinated with chupacabras anyway, right? I'm one of
Really?
those. Well, yeah, I'm one of those that thinks that might be real.
Is that a superstition of yours?
It's not a superstition. No, it's not a superstition, but I think they might be real. I mean, I don't know.
If you're looking for a one that I can recommend, because again, I don't get a lot of spicy anything, but Meat Church has a rub called Holy Voodoo that is fantastic, and it's got a nice kick, little heat to it. And so what I do with that is I'll do like their honey hog and then some Holy Voodoo. I can't do straight Holy Voodoo, but so you get a little bit of a kick on
That's
your
too
wings that
spicy
way.
for you, Holy Voodoo.
Not too well. If I did it 100%, yeah, I've got to mix it in like 70-30.
All right.
I can do that. Holy Voodoo is a good one.
I'll try that one. I still want to know what chupacabra is there. I'm interested now.
All right. At Joe Ken's 5.
Please let me
tweet
know.
him and let him know if it's worthy of getting. But seeing that photo there, and if that's the rub on it, it looks good.
It looked delicious.
Nice color.
Yes.
Coming off of that grill. Fantastic.
It looked really good. So,
all right.
Congratulations.
Playoff game this weekend. Cowboys, Niners. Superstitions. What are yours? Ryan Nagel and I were talking about this earlier because I really don't have any. Now, I will make fun of people that have it, yet my wife will tell me there are certain things that I do that I don't even realize I'm doing, but I don't think they're superstitious, but apparently it might fall into that category.
Well, of course it's superstitious. If you're doing the same thing on game day and you do it every week, that's a superstition because you think doing the same thing every week is going to help the Cowboys win.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Tweet at Joe Ken's 5, at Jason Minix, what your superstitions are. If you're watching online, you can always drop a comment on Facebook or YouTube and let us know. Because in reality, Joe, I don't know that I have a superstition, and I make fun of those that think something you're doing in your living room is affecting the outcome of a game.
It does.
But every game day, I'm wearing a Cowboy shirt. It doesn't have to be the same one, but I'm always, so I think I'm just supporting my team. Some will say superstition.
Superstition, because you're not going to wear a Astros shirt while watching a Cowboys game, are you?
No.
That's a superstition. You think you have to
I'm just dressed for game day.
Well, if you're in your living room, who cares?
I care.
Exactly. It's a superstition.
I care. Same with my socks.
It's a
and my Cowboys underwear.
Oh,
and
my
Cowboys gym shorts. I mean, put me in, coach. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. You're about as superstitious.
Maybe it is superstition.
Yes, it definitely is. And now everybody can make fun of you.
It's possible.
Absolutely.
But again, I'm 0-2, or I'm on a 2-game losing streak and going to games this year.
Oh, no.
And
you're
some people, including my neighbor Hal, thinks I shouldn't go to this game. Although, Hal, if you can let the dog out about lunchtime and feed her, I'd appreciate it. But, I mean, you look at it. I've been to 2 straight losses. It's not my fault.
Well, I don't know. It may be. If they lose this Sunday, then it will be your fault.
It will be.
It will be.
I'm not taking the blame for that.
Well, just make sure you have your Cowboys underwear on, the socks, and the shirt.
Well, and it will be a white shirt because they're calling for a whiteout.
They are.
I know which shirt I'm going to wear. It's a nice white long sleeve Cowboy shirt.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, I hope there's a lot more white in that stadium than there is red. And because that means there's more Cowboy fans. And that place needs to be rocking this week.
It does. And it will.
It's that kind of game.
It will.
It's that kind of game.
The buzz in Dallas is incredible for this game.
Right.
And the fact that it's, even just watching all the Sports Center highlights, the term, how about them Cowboys from Jimmy Johnson in the locker room after beating San Francisco was born there after the Cowboys beat the Niners.
Right.
They're going to have Romo in the building.
Is he going to play?
He might.
They may be calling for him at halftime.
No, I think the Cowboys have this. So what are your superstitions?
Well, I used to have a lot of superstitions until long time ago.
Okay.
Houston Oilers playing the Buffalo Bills.
Uh-oh.
They got ahead 35-7 in a playoff game. And in fact, it was the AFC Championship game.
Was it really? I don't remember this. What happened?
It's a long time ago. And some guy by the name of Frank Reich came in the ball game after Jim Kelly went down.
Mm-hmm.
And they proceeded to win that game in overtime. I think the final was 38-35. And I haven't gotten over that. I was probably wearing my Cody Carlson jersey at the time. And so,
there's the first problem.
I promptly burned that. And I still haven't gotten over that, if you can't tell.
You did not burn your jersey.
No, I didn't. I don't know where it is, though, honestly.
Seriously?
I've got a real nice Vince Young throwback, though, that I've got. It's about 3-4 sizes too big, but it's great.
Daniel Reyes says it's real. If you change that jersey when it's not time, Dallas will lose.
What jersey are you talking about?
I have no idea.
I'm triggering.
I think it's his own. I mean, it's a therapy
You're
session.
not old enough to remember that.
Oh, I remember every bit, and it was 35-3, and the final score was 41-38.
Well, I remember it was 28. You sure it was 3?
It was 3.
All right, it was 28-3 at halftime.
Uh-huh.
And the Oilers scored right at the beginning of the third quarter to make it 35.
And it was over.
And the Oilers thought so too. They left the building. And then Jim Kelly got hurt, and Frank Reich comes in and leads the Bills back. And they won the right to get thoroughly thrashed by the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
That was a great game.
The Oilers would have won that Super Bowl.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would have. That was the best team they've ever had.
52-17, and it would have been more if Leon Lett didn't celebrate about the 10 and Don Beebe knocks a ball out.
Dude, if the Oilers were crushing the Bills, obviously the Bills were not good enough to be in the Super Bowl with anybody.
Obviously, they only went to 4 straight.
And they lost them all.
They were there 4 straight times. You know how hard it is to lose 4 straight Super Bowls?
They were the Minnesota Vikings at their age.
Exactly. That's what it boils down to. So what you're saying, though, is you don't really have any superstitions either.
Well, the only thing I do, and I do this subconsciously, when I walk on a sidewalk, I don't step on the cracks.
You afraid you're going to break your mother's back?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that would be hard to do at this point in time. But I mean,
wow.
that would I don't do it. It's just one of those things.
Do you walk under ladders?
I don't. And you know why?
Why?
I learned this today because when I was looking this up and I wanted to know some superstitions. Back in the old days, a long time ago, they used to hang people from the top of ladders.
Really?
I guess criminals or whatever.
Okay.
So it was thought that if you walked under a ladder, that you were going to die by hanging. Not only that, people thought that the bottom of the ladder was haunted.
I could see. There are so many superstitions out there.
Yes.
And you're into the paranormal stuff.
I love it.
Finding the origins of why we shouldn't like black cats or walk under the ladders. And I don't understand the whole step on, other than like in elementary school, it was a fun saying,
sure.
Right? I mean, it was just kind of what it was. But some of the stuff people do is real. And you look at athletes, the way they get dressed before the game, what sock goes on, what foot they're, the routine the entire time is always the same. And I get that with certain athletes because you just want to do things in a normal way. And I think we're all that way. I don't know about you, but you put your pants on, then you put your socks on, your right foot, then your left foot, and put your shoes on, same way, right? Do you ever switch it up? Or is it routine, or is it superstition?
I think that's routine. Now, here's the deal. Do you put both socks on, or do you put a sock and a shoe and a sock and a shoe?
Sock, shoe.
Well, that's what I do. I wonder, some people put sock, shoe. Does anybody do that? I don't know.
Apparently people aren't calling in with their superstitions.
Nobody's superstitious. Well, we're getting a lot of comments here, right? So here's Daniel, right? He says, for me, the lucky strike is if I'm watching when the game starts and they're winning, then I keep watching. If they start losing, I have to stop watching or they won't come back. But I can't do that, even if it helps the team, because I'm going to keep watching.
You're going to keep watching all the way through.
I'm going to keep watching no matter what.
Because if they come back, I want to be able to see the comeback and be a part of it.
Exactly right.
I don't know what Umpet is saying there. Losing Super Bowls. I love losing Super Bowls.
Oh.
See a Buffalo. Oh, I think he's talking about you being a Tennessee Titan fan coming up a yard short.
Yard short. Well, at least we got to that one, right? The team got to that one. They didn't quite make it as Houston Oilers.
They didn't, but and one day, not this year, but one year they actually might win a Super
You mentioned
Bowl.
the number 1 seed in the AFC. Derrick Henry's coming back. We talked about that yet?
Who?
Us, you and me.
The Titans?
Yeah,
being the 1 seed,
number 1 seed in the AFC.
If you watch any of the shows, you wouldn't know that.
Why exactly? And that's how we like it.
They're not playing this weekend yet. Neither is Aaron Rodgers, yet Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packer highlights are there. I mean, there's nobody except Joe Reinagle and Logan Woodside that thinks the Tennessee Titans are going anywhere in this postseason.
I think the Tennessee Titans were in the AFC Championship game last year, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah, they were. Lost to Kansas City.
I mean, God, nobody remembers that.
I remember that.
Nobody remembers when you lose in a championship game. Unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the Jacksonville Jaguars were in an AFC championship game.
That's true.
I mean, think about how quickly that cycle can turn.
It can. But if I haven't mentioned this, the Titans are the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Okay.
Derrick Henry will be back.
Okay.
So they'll be there.
How much of a drop-off was there when Derrick Henry went out?
Well, the running game, because that's what the Titans do.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league.
Yeah, sure.
So it makes a difference. No offense to Foreman, but Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league.
And Foreman picked up the rock and helped secure the number 1 seed for the Tennessee Titans. So getting a Derrick Henry back, while it is big, and I don't want to try to undersell this in any way, but it's not the major impact that, say, if DeAndre Hopkins comes back for the Cardinals, their offense is going to be significantly better. With Derrick Henry, there wasn't a major drop-off. Is he better than Foreman? Absolutely. But they haven't really slowed down on their run game with the absence of Derrick Henry.
Here's the difference, though. When you get a guy like Derrick Henry, it's an automatic shot of adrenaline.
Sure.
Absolutely, right? So anytime a star player comes back, regardless,
I agree with you there.
And the DeAndre Hopkins thing is not even legit. That's apples and oranges. Because Henry's going to handle the ball 25, 30 times.
It's impact on an offense. And, playing devil's advocate, the return of Derrick Henry might be a bit of a deterrent because if I'm the defensive coordinator and Derrick Henry's back and I know he's going to get 25 touches, I now don't have to respect Ryan Tannehill as much.
Well, who respects Ryan Tannehill anyway?
Well, but now you got to worry about him, maybe throwing the ball, trying to get it downfield to some of those receivers. If Derrick Henry is there, I could stack the box a little bit more.
Well, everybody stacks the box against Tennessee, and it doesn't work. I mean, because that's what they do. And they make no secret about the fact they're going to run the football most of the time. So, yeah, Derrick Henry coming back is huge. It's ginormous. You know what Ryan Tannehill is? He's the old Terry Bradshaw, Trent Dilfer, where they just manage the football game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do, and he does it well. That's all he has to do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I look at you. I don't want to put him in the Trent Dilfer category with Terry Bradshaw because Bradshaw in his time was perfect for what he did. But you look at Flacco leading a team to a Super Bowl.
There's another.
You look at Trent Dilfer leading a team to a Super Bowl. You look at what Nick Foles did when he came in and replaced a guy. You don't have to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes to be a that kind of quarterback, right? A Drew Brees or an Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
You just can't be the guy that's going to make the mistake that costs your team.
Right.
And there's been times where he's been that guy. You can count on Tannehill to hold the ball too long and take a sack at the wrong time. You can count on him for a fumble or an interception. But where he's better is he's got some wheels on him. He's an athlete. That dude is an athlete, and he can get those rushing touchdowns when that box is stacked. I mean, I'm not dogging Ryan Tannehill, but
it sounds like you are.
I'm not. I like Ryan. He's a nice guy. And he's a good quarterback that knows his role in the team, and he's in a perfect system for what he does.
All I want you to do is look right up there, Jason.
Right up where?
Right up there.
What's up
at
there?
The scoreboard. Ryan Tannehill took the Titans to the AFC Championship game.
Ryan Tannehill
last year.
also helped me win my bad quarterback league.
That's great.
I mean, I rode Ryan Tannehill to the championship in my bad quarterback fantasy league.
I know even Rob Thompson likes Ryan Tannehill.
Well, because he's an Aggie.
Exactly.
You know how you know what the scoring system is for a bad quarterback league? Not a lot of passing yards, lots of sacks, lots of turnovers. Champion.
That's fantastic. And so are the Titans, number 1 seed in the AFC. Thank you.
They
I'll drop
are.
the mic right now.
Oh, shut up. All right. So your Titans aren't playing this week.
No, they're off because they're the number 1 seed in the AFC.
And you're such a fan of this team that your only jersey is a Vince Young Oilers throwback.
Yes.
So you haven't invested in a Tannehill jersey?
No, I haven't.
A King Henry jersey?
No, I haven't. I'm not one of those guys that wears jerseys a lot.
What?
I'm not.
shocked.
I don't wear jerseys a lot. So I've got them hanging in there, and I've got some Cardinal jerseys, but I don't wear jerseys. I mean, they're not places that I go. Now that I'm here, I might. You know what? Next week, I'll probably sport the Vince Young jersey in here next week.
Oh, man, you need to go order yourself a good Titans jersey to get game day ready for next weekend.
Oh, I've got a good Titans jersey.
What is it?
The Vince Young throwback.
Oilers jersey.
It is.
Which isn't a Titans jersey.
I used to have an Eddie George jersey, but it was just an Academy special. It wasn't real. So I don't know where that is.
The Eddie George jersey.
The Eddie,
it's
don't know
over there
it
with
is.
the Cody Carlson
It
jersey.
must be, yeah, in a garage sale somewhere.
Got $2. It's pathetic.
I'm going to sport that jersey next week, so be sure and be ready for that, folks.
So your Titans aren't playing this weekend.
No, they're not. Resting up.
You look at all the games this weekend.
Yeah.
Maggie says you got one game aside from the Cowboys.
Right.
What is the game this weekend where you need those 3 hours and you tell you what, we're watching football?
I like the Patriots-Bills game. That's the one that if I had to pick, the Cincinnati Las Vegas game is interesting, but the game for me, other than the Cowboy game, is Bills and Patriots.
I agree. Saturday night looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for that game. And the last time Buffalo and New England played, it's weird to see them playing for a third time. And if you're the Bills, man, this sucks, doesn't it? It just like, you finally win the AFC East, and now you get Bill Belichick in the postseason, right? And they're talking about this game being played in record cold conditions for the Buffalo Bills. It won't be as windy as last time, but it's going to be none degrees or less than none degrees. At halftime, they're going to have an ice fishing demonstration at the 50-yard line.
Well, yeah, but what do you expect playing in Buffalo in January? That's just what you're going to get. I guarantee you're going to have some shirtless guys drunk breaking tables in Buffalo.
Yes.
I guarantee you that. Because that's what they do.
That is what they do. God bless them. I mean, that is what they do. We've had, I don't know, the same dude has been trying to call about his Cowboy superstition being the blue jersey jinx.
Hasn't that gone away, though?
It really has. I mean, you have to be of a certain age to still believe in the blue jersey jinx.
Or the Thanksgiving Day jersey jinx.
The alt jersey?
Yeah.
It depends on if they win or lose it. But yeah, just show up in your uniform and go. Like this year, they played with the red stripe on their helmet like they did in 1976. Right. I love that look.
I do too.
They lost the game. Fans are like, I hope they never do that again. I like the look. The stripe had nothing to do with the outcome of that football game.
I don't know, Jason. You can't dispute superstition. It's real.
It is.
It is. It's real. If you believe in it, it's real.
Well, after the Cowboys beat San Francisco, I hope that Tom Brady is on the Manning cast Monday night for the playoff game, because it's going to be one of those mega Manning casts for the Monday night game, Rams and Cardinals. Current players that have appeared during the Manning cast are 0-8 the next week. So every active player that went on with the Mannings this year, their team lost the following week.
Are they really going to have a Manning cast this week?
Yeah, on Monday night.
Well, I get the whole thing, but not during a playoff game. Come on. I mean, who's going to watch that?
Everybody.
I'm not.
Everybody not named Joe Ryan.
No, I won't be watching that. I want to watch football. It's the playoffs. Okay, I get it during the regular season. Yeah, yak it up with, Snoop Dogg and that's great. Aaron Rodgers, but not during the playoffs.
What the interviews are one thing, and I'm with you there. But when it's Peyton and Eli talking about the game and the plays and dissecting the plays, I'll eat that up.
I don't care what they say. Let them say whatever they want. I want to watch the game.
You'd rather hear Greasy or Collinsworth?
Not necessarily. I'm not saying I'm going to listen to anybody, but I don't want to listen to that nonsense. I want to pay attention to the game. It's going to be a great game. Rams Cardinals Monday night.
Let's be honest, man. It's going to be white noise because you'll be putting together the 10 o'clock sportscast.
Well, that's a good point.
Let's be honest.
Well, it's true.
So you don't want to watch it because it would distract you because they will suck you in. They have that ability.
No, I tried to watch it last time.
At your office while trying to put together a sportscast, and it wasn't good for you.
Nothing grabbed my attention.
Uh-huh.
Except for Snoop Dogg.
Exactly.
He did, actually. He said, I don't know what he said, but I turned around and said, oh, hey, Snoop.
Uh-huh. That's what it is. The Texans have fired David Coley. We'll talk about the Spurs as well as we continue here on the Blitz. First, let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex. If you're looking for a new vehicle or pre-owned vehicle, there's no better place to go than Ancira, and I can tell you that firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner. Coley's out. Who's next for the Texans? We'll talk about it after SportsCenter with James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. We'll start off in college hoops, where the 19th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders are currently hosting the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Tip-off was just about 26 minutes ago, as the Red Raiders currently lead the Cowboys 16-6. The UTSA Roadrunners are also in action right now, as they are on the road playing the Old Dominion Monarchs. Currently, with 7:51 left in the first half, Old Dominion leads UTSA 22-10. At 7 o'clock tonight, the Texas State Bobcats, who are 9-4 on the year, welcome Louisiana Monroe into San Marcos with tip-off set for 7 o'clock. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs lost their fourth straight, falling to the Houston Rockets 128-124 last night, as they gave up 39 in the first quarter alone. DeJounte Murray led the Spurs in the loss with a career-high 32 points and a triple-double, as he added 10 rebounds and 11 assists. In the NFL, the Houston Texans fired head coach David Coley one season into his head coaching year, and also offensive coordinator Tim Kelly, who's been with the team since 2014, spending the last 3 as the offensive coordinator, was also let go today. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples. I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect. Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29 in store only. See staples.com/print for details.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
Workers' comp can crush a small business. Every year it would jump 5, 10, 15, 20%, even though there was never any claims. And that's where I was struggling as a growing business.
That's Mike Lozier, owner of Gutter Plumber, a small business in New Jersey. A while back, Mike found his workers' comp costs rising. Luckily, he discovered Pie Insurance.
From start to finish, it was extremely easy. They quickly came back to me with a plan that was affordable for me.
Are you overpaying for workers' comp? Just go to trypie.com, share a few details about your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle or hidden fees. Like Mike, we think you'll be glad you did.
I'm very happy that I moved over to Pie for my workers' comp so that I can grow my company while not breaking the bank.
Find out how much you could save with Pie Insurance. Ask your agent or get a quote at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is
I know
exponential.
we're a couple of accountants short.
He
but-
needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
BetOnline.net would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the football playoffs and beyond. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports info, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline.net has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live, real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Second it takes. The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagle. Ken's 5. Watch him tonight at 10.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. That'd be nice.
I just saw a tweet that came through my feed.
Yeah.
Another reason to watch Ken's tonight at 10. This scares the hell out of me. Alicia Neves?
Alicia.
Her tweet says, getting a traffic ticket for a minor infraction without police pulling you over. It's a new pilot program, and the first police department in the nation to try it out is in Bexar County. Catch the story tonight at 10. It's a good tease, a Twitter tease that makes you want to tune in. I don't know which little city in Bexar County is going to test this out, but I'm not a fan. I mean, if I have a minor traffic infraction, which most of us do on a daily basis, have those, isn't part of the game is, getting pulled over and getting to spend some quality time with the cop and sign an autograph?
Well, I'm just wondering how they're going to do that because, red light cameras they're illegal.
No.
Well, I only know this because I actually got a ticket from a red light camera. It was over by the Wonderland Mall, and I guess that Leon Springs area.
Uh-huh.
So I got it in the mail. They said you ran a red light, and I'm like, no, I didn't. Right. So what's cool about it? They are illegal though. They're going away at some point in time because the state of Texas ruled them illegal. And only I guess Leon Springs has them. So I get this, and they say go in here and you see a video of the infraction. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to go to court. And, this is, I go in there, dude, and sure as hell, I ran that red light. And I'm like, Joe, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
What were you doing at the time that you just plow through this intersection like that?
Did you run it bad? I mean, was it yellow when you started through,
No,
or was it close, or were you just, texting Bill Taylor about the weather?
No, because I don't text Bill Taylor. So I don't know. I mean, it seemed it was red when I went through. So I'm sure.
So how does it? So it shows your car and the light being red.
Yes. It's like a camera behind you, right behind the car. So I'm going this, straight, and the camera's behind me.
And of course, so it's got your license plate,
right
in it,
and you can see the light. And so I get this, and I'm like, man, what were you thinking? And I guess I'm just thinking, I'm still old school, right? So there's nobody around through there. So I'm thinking the light, and it was in black and white. So I'm thinking the light might have been pink. Right? Wasn't quite red yet, and not quite yellow. It was in between. It was pink.
Is that it?
Yeah, it
had it been red for a while in the video? I mean, did you gun it? Could you see the acceleration in your car?
I can't see that.
Evil Knievel here.
That, but so anyway, if you pay you don't have to pay them.
What?
Right? No, listen to me. You don't have to pay them. But and nobody's you won't get a warrant or anything. But what happens is they send it to a collections agency.
Of course.
So then you get a pop on your credit report.
If you don't pay it.
If you don't pay it. So I paid it.
Interesting.
It was $75.
And you were guilty.
Allegedly.
No, I mean, you just said the sure enough. What the hell were you thinking?
I pleaded no contest.
Well, of course. I had, I'm embarrassed to say, a ticket show up in the mail one time.
Yeah.
And I saw the video and went kind of this, although I still kind of dispute it, but it was on one of those school buses.
Right.
And I'm going down the road, and the school bus was moving, and the little stop sign was coming out as I was going by, and they sent me the ticket. And I called to say, well, the bus wasn't stopped. No kid was in danger. And you could see in the video as well, the stop sign was not completely out. It's not. And they were like, no, when you see it and it's starting to say, you got to stop. And they say, you can fight it. You're going to lose. All right, here's my money. And it was a couple $100 because it was a school bus.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
so
dangerous.
If I see a school bus now coming anywhere close to a stop, I stop. And I felt bad too, because I honestly, you see a school bus, you stop, but it was kind of one of those, like I was so close to it. It would be like the yellow light scenario, but not when it comes to a school bus.
I like the old days when they didn't have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just kind of like, and I don't mean to, traffic laws are traffic laws, and I obey them. So don't anybody don't get bent out of shape. But, if you don't see a police officer, you kind of, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, but I got away with it. And I guess that's what I was thinking, right? I got away with it.
It's just like speeding.
I mean, there was nobody coming. Right. And we all do that.
We all speed.
We all do that.
There's certain, and so the idea that, part of the fun is when you get caught and you're caught, that's what it is.
Right.
And if you don't get caught, it's another day.
You're okay.
Right? So now that, check your mail. And how many of us check our mail every day? Nobody checks their mail every day.
No.
And what a surprise that's going to be.
It was a surprise because, you don't even think about that. I don't even remember where I was or what I was doing and where I was going. And then you get this and I'm like, what? I don't know, man. So, it's just not fair. It's not fair.
There are cameras everywhere.
Right. But they shouldn't be used to give you a ticket for running a red light.
That to me, that's part of the fun, right? But it's part of the daily game of driving.
What do they say? I mean, everybody's innocent until you get caught.
That's it,
right? Isn't that kind of the saying? It may not be exactly the same, but it's something like that.
I don't know. It's a Rheinegalism. I don't know that I've ever heard that before, but. You're not breaking the law if you don't get caught. Right?
Exactly.
Is that more?
That's exactly
more
what
of the saying.
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of go from there.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So now I'm curious to see what happens with this story tonight at 10 on Ken's Five.
Yeah. Again, I mean, how are they going to prove it? And there's got to be a camera.
There's going to be videos,
but cameras are illegal. Yeah, at least on red lights.
Well, the red light cameras are illegal. I mean, now if this is the case, and I know nothing about this story because they don't give you any details because they want you to watch the news tonight, right? But if it's a video camera on the cop's dashboard, and he could just say, "Yep, saw you doing this, but I'm not going to spend my time pulling you over," I guess,
but I would assume people like Jason Thompson might have a field day with something like that.
A lawyer for us. Absolutely.
Yes. So,
well, and again, though, I mean, you look at it, I could see where cops short staff like everybody else, spend your time giving you a $75 ticket or just send you a bill in the mail with a copy of your video clip. I mean, that's what you have to do. But I know firsthand, if you fight a ticket, you can reverse a charge, because I left the radio station one day. As I'm pulling out, I could see the cops down there. It's a speed trap on Eisenhower. I could see cops were pulling people over, and I pull out of the station and they pull me over and they say I was going whatever I was going. Now, I was speeding, but not to the level that would generally get you a ticket.
Sure.
Right. I think it was 38
in a 35,
but they tried to tell me it was 30. Like, dude, I've worked here for 14 years. I know this stretch of road is 35. Nope, you're speeding. Might have been 41, but you get that.
We're getting faster as we go.
You get that 10 grace. Well, I shouldn't have gotten a ticket. Well, it turns out right over here they changed the speed limit sign by mistake and put a 30 up. All the other ones say 35, but I did some research, went to court, and they threw it out.
Well, good for you.
That was fun.
I bet that was fun. That's one of those
satisfying.
That's one of those good feelings.
Well, and again, if I was speeding and I knew I was speeding, dude, officer, man, have a nice day. Appreciate it. Yep, you got me. That's generally how I am when I'm with the cop. But I knew, I was like, dude, it's 30 here or 35, and he's like, no, it's 30. Oh, it's 35. Did a little research and got it figured out.
That's a good feeling. That's a win. That's a win.
That's a win for everybody.
That is a win. And that's, you should feel good. I applaud you for that.
David Coley didn't get enough wins. He got himself fired today. The Houston Texans had him twisting the wind for 4 days since the season ended before they dropped the hammer. Today, we'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz. First, let me tell you about River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need to know about Dr. Mark Habercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He's a specialist, an oral surgeon, a medical doctor, and he treats people of all ages, and he offers direct patient care. What that means, it's a cash business. He doesn't want your insurance. Now, if you have insurance, he's probably still going to be less expensive, but you can still file a claim and maybe even get some money back. And all his prices are all inclusive, including post-op care. And all those prices are listed right there on the website, rivercityoms.com. You don't need a referral. You simply call 210-778-0002 and make an appointment. Free market medicine is the way to go. You know exactly what you're going to pay, and you know you're going to get the best care. People drive from all over the state of Texas to see Dr. Mark Habercorn. His office over there at 1604 near I-10, right across the highway from Topgolf. River City Oral Surgery. Call 210-778-0002 or go to the website rivercityoms.com. That's rivercityoms.com.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at sasportstar.com.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Was the guy who wrecked the company vehicle distracted because he was too busy making a TikTok video instead of watching the road? He still only has 2 followers, his mom and dad. But now you're hurt and need help. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303 24 hours a day.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
Pride.
Hey, listen up.
Tradition.
Let's keep it going.
Football. The NFL playoff picture is coming together. Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jay Semenix. I wanted to talk about David Coley here, Joe.
Yeah.
But during the break, you were reading some of this stuff on Amari Cooper.
Yeah, he was fined by the NFL today, $14,650. I'm not sure. I'm guessing there's a formula for why it's $650 on top of that. But here's the reason why. The NFL says that he went not only to the Dallas Mavericks game and sat courtside, but before that, he was at the Cotton Bowl where he watched Alabama beat Cincinnati. And here's the reasoning for it, Jason. The NFL says an unvaccinated player, which is what Amari Cooper is, can attend a sporting event, but they've got to sit in a luxury suite with a mask on and not be surrounded by more than 10 people. So Cooper obviously was on the sidelines of the football game, and then he was sitting courtside at the Mavericks game.
Now, I understand those are the rules, and they understand what the rules are. So he knew that before he went to the game.
I'm assuming he did, yeah.
I think all these players, I mean, the COVID protocols are being drilled into them like nobody's business, right?
Right.
But since he had COVID, missed a couple of games because of COVID, he is in a 90-day window where they don't even test him. So what's the point? I mean, at that point, if I'm Amari Cooper, I appeal this saying, I did everything you told me to do as an unvaccinated player, and all the additional protocols that I had to go through, because they made it miserable for these guys to not get vaccinated. There was a lot of carrots out there. If you get vaccinated, these are your rules. If you're unvaccinated, these are your rules. But once you get COVID and you get into that window of 90 days where you don't have to test, aren't those strict rules for unvaccinated players out the window?
It should be.
I mean, I would think so, and I'm going to assume that Amari Cooper probably thought the same thing, because I don't have to test anymore. And I just had it, so I'm not going to get it for at least 90 days. So these rules for unvaccinated players no longer apply to me.
I would assume that too. And of course, he was with CD Lamb at the Mavericks game. and Trayvon Diggs at the Cotton Bowl, but both of those players have been vaccinated, so they weren't fined. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, Jason, it's confusing, and it has been the entire time, and especially when it comes to pro sports, when it comes to the NBA or the NFL. I mean, things change, and they change the rules one day, and they change them again. And again, I've said this before on this show. I mean, these kids are young, they're healthy. Yeah, let them play. DeJounte Murray, I share his sentiment, okay, when he said it was BS. Let him play. I get that, and I'm not discounting COVID-19. I get it. It's dangerous. It's been bad. But for these guys, it's not. And let them play.
I look at Amari Cooper, and I'm not going to read all of these long quotes in this article on Pro Football Talk where they lifted some info from John Machota from The Athletic, and Machota will be on with us tomorrow at 5:30. But he said, there's risk all across the board. I don't live at home, so even if I stay home, the other people that I live with in my house, my family, they go do their stuff. They can come back and they could get there. And he said, when I do go somewhere, I was pictured not wearing a mask, but that's because I was eating and drinking. I don't know how to do that with the mask on. I think there's risk all across the board. Now, I saw him. I don't know if I'm going to go with, I didn't see you with the mask on and they showed you. Sometimes you get caught that way. But it didn't look like you were eating or drinking. But if I'm Amari Cooper, I followed all your protocols as an unvaccinated player until I got it. And I got COVID, still following protocols. He said, I don't live alone. Who knows how I caught it? But once you're kind of in that window where they're not testing you, why would you not go to a game? You went to college at Alabama, your team's playing in your stadium.
Yeah.
You're going. It was a big night for the Mavericks. You're going, and you probably feel like, all right, I've been on restriction this whole season. I got sick. I missed 2 games. Hate that for my teammate. Hate that I got sick. But now if the NFL isn't testing me for 90 days, do I get my freedoms back?
Well, apparently not. Apparently you don't. You still have to follow the rules. And again, a luxury suite with a mask on and not more than 10 people. My only issue with that is people that are vaccinated are still getting COVID-19, still testing positive, even though they don't have many symptoms. A lot of these guys, and a lot of people do, and I don't want to get into the politics of all of that stuff, but these guys are healthy. It's just time. It's time for us to live. Let's go live our lives and do our thing. That's my rant for today.
Get vaccinated.
Thanks. Well, sure. I mean, if that's what you want to do, get vaccinated, of course.
I just, and then the weird amount that they get fined. But if like I was mad at Amari Cooper for not getting vaccinated and missing 2 games, in the ultimate team sport, you do everything to be available. But at this point, I'm on Amari's side. This fine seems dumb because they're not even testing him right now. I don't get that. Just like I don't get the Houston Texans sometimes. Although
sometimes,
well, I mean, as of late, the Texans are doing Texans things. They literally 2 minutes ago just tweeted out a photo of David Culley. Says, "Thank you, Coach Culley." Shut up. I mean, Twitter deaf? Are you kidding? That's just that's Drake and hot sauce, man. There's just no need for that.
Well, so what are they thanking him for? For being a guy, an interim coach to come in and let the GM call plays in your headset? I mean, because that's what he did. Yeah, they're ridiculous. And it's going to be difficult. And I know head coaching jobs are important to guys, and you, I guess, take them wherever you want. But if I'm a head coach, why in the world would I want to go to Houston or Jacksonville?
Well, Bill O'Brien is interviewing for the Jacksonville job.
Well, and if Jacksonville is dumb enough to hire him, then they get what they deserve.
I don't even know why Jacksonville would end up interviewing him. That makes no sense. The Texans do release some statements with some quotes from Caserio and David Culley and Cal McNair, and it's all the PR spin you would think after a 1-year coaching change. All lies. Nick Caserio said earlier today, I met with David Culley and Tim Kelly to inform them that we will be moving in a different direction. You know what? It's Thursday. You knew 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or the day you hired him, you were going to fire him.
The day you
made
hired
him twist in the wind for 4 days. I mean, we were making fun of the Giants for not firing Joe Judge on Monday. At least they did it on Tuesday. To fire him on Thursday? That's just typical BS from that organization.
Now, I wonder what were they having conversations with him in the interim, or was Culley's phone just silent? And he probably thought, well, I guess I'm okay. I'm still under contract. I haven't heard from the GM. I'm okay. Let's get ready for next season.
David Culley loved every minute of being head coach. That's what his statement says.
And thank you for the opportunity.
One day, David Culley will tell the real story of the BS he was dealing with. And hey, look, he got to be a head coach, and he's getting a whole lot of money, although I don't know what to believe. I've seen one report today that said of his 5-year deal, only 2 years were guaranteed. And I think I remember hearing that when he was hired. So we all thought he was here for 2 years. I compared him to Bo Porter, who went through those 100-loss Astro seasons to get fired and replaced by A.J. Hinch, who goes on and wins the World Series. I thought he would at least get 2 years. Now, he did a lot of dumb things this year that warrants being fired as head coach of the Texans, but they should have done it Monday, not Thursday. This is just typical of this organization.
Well, and John McClain said it best. This was going to happen. This was decided the day he was hired. He was going to be the bridge to get the Texans from here to there so they could hire the guy that they wanted after that. And according to McClain, and I have no reason to doubt him, it's going to be somebody from that New England Patriots Bill Belichick tree.
No doubt about that. Now, David Culley, I saw 2 years guaranteed on his deal. And then was it Tom Pelissero that tweeted he's getting like $23 million?
$22 million, yeah.
Don't feel bad for David Culley.
Not at all.
Well, even if he's getting one more year of free money, don't feel bad for David Culley.
I don't. That's why I don't feel bad for any of these coaches to get fired. You know, I hate to see somebody get fired, but most of these guys have a sweetheart deal when they get fired, and they don't have to work, and they're still getting paid.
They do. That'll do it for the Blitz. Make sure you watch Ryan Nagel tonight at 10 on Ken's 5. Make up with Rob and Rudy tomorrow morning, R&R in the morning from 7 to 10. Then you got halftime from noon to 2. Tomorrow we're going to have a lot of fun getting you ready for Cowboys and Niners. Have a good night, everybody.
I can't wait to watch you guys play.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go.
The NFL playoff picture is coming.